There we go. Well, aloha and good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. What's new, everybody? It's your old pal Woodsy here, live from Kauai, and wanted to say hello to my co-hosts a long way away. Paulie Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning to you, buddy.
Hey, aloha.
What's new?
Oh, not much.
Just, normal kind of Tuesday yesterday, just for everyone, right?
Yeah, totally normal. That's the other voice you hear is the voice of Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. You look dry, which is a relief, I think, to everybody here in San Diego, knowing what happened yesterday, where you are in Kauai.
Yeah, man. Quite the afternoon it was for me and my family, continuing on till almost this morning. But what a day indeed. Is there anything else that you need me to do for Channel 10? Just so you know, any other content that I need to provide for your other employer?
You did a great job. You were the man on the scene.
I'm a captive audience here. Did that weird you out? Last night I wanted to ask you, did it weird you out to know that I was fleeing a tsunami with my family and you're like, hey, I hope you're okay. Any chance you can do a 2-minute hit? How weirded out were you? Because that actually happened.
I did happen, and I felt certainly a little awkward about asking, but at the same time, you are a newsmaker, and when you're a newsmaker and I'm a journalist, that is part of the job, that you have to ask those awkward questions sometimes. We actually sitting there having a meeting. So yeah, our boss's call, it's about, I don't know what time in San Diego after the tsunami warning. It's like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we've got this big conference call, and there's like 10, 12 people on it talking about our 11 p.m. coverage. And they asked the question, does anybody know someone who might be over in Kauai, who might be able to be on? And I'm standing there kind of silently for about 30 seconds going, I don't want to ask him because I just don't want to ask him. But everyone knows that I know someone who's in Kauai. And I'm going, yeah, I know someone who's in Kauai right now. I will give him a call and see if he can do a little Zoom for the 11 o'clock news.
God, that's funny.
I will give you credit. Not only did you complete the Zoom call, you did it so fast that conference call wasn't even over by the time we recorded it. I walked over. You said, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. I interviewed you. I walked back to the conference call. They said, is he going to do it? I said, he already did. We've already talked about the evacuation and the tsunami in Kauai. It's done. It's ready. We'll have it on the 11 o'clock news.
Hang on. Here's a little
dude, I mean, it was wild. It was wild. I got to tell you, getting that I had a whole wild series of text messages and alerts that I got to my phone yesterday. It was an unbelievable day.
Nothing made me laugh harder than the text that I'm about to show on the YouTube stream between the three of us, where we're going, holy crap, like this looks insane. Ben, can I also use that for Channel 10? Sure. Then THX. I don't know why the THX laid me out. I was sitting there like watching the game or whatever time that was. I was howling. I was laughing so hard.
I hope it makes you feel good that I was the big hero last night for Channel 10's coverage. We differentiated ourselves from the rest of the market by having Stephen Woods on our program last night. So there you go.
THX is like the greatest thing I've ever seen ever.
Oh my God. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, are you okay? Have you evacuated? Like, what's going on? Like, hey, I think you're going to be okay. This is just got to be an abundance of caution. And then Ben's just, can I use that on Channel 10? THX.
It was unbelievable. I mean, listen, Benny, you're not alone. I got the same text from John down the hall. You guys know John from KSO, and he's like, hey, buddy, hope you and the fam are safe. Could you call in the morning if you have a moment? And then texted me this morning. I'm like, no problem. The one I did turn down, I got some DM from somebody at the Wall Street Journal at like 10:45 last night. They're like, do you have 5 minutes to talk about what's going on the ground there? And I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. At the Wall Street Journal. I'm like, I'm exhausted. But
That would have been good for our brand.
Obviously the best. Listen, it would have been actually, but I was just telling the fellas too. We're friends, right? We do a show together, but we're also dear friends, and we text each other throughout the day of anything that goes on in our lives that is noteworthy, or that's what buddies do. So we're on a group text, and I text these guys. I'm like, so we get off the air. I left about 30 minutes early, and I got to calm down, by the way. I've slept for 2 hours. I've had 2 massive cups of coffee.
You're just on adrenaline,
and I'm as jittery
caffeine.
as can be. Straight adrenaline. Let me take a deep breath. Let's all do it together. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I feel a little better. So I left the show a little early, ran down, picked my brother up. We went down to the most stunning golf course ever. It's Mackay at Princeville. And my brother and I are like, well, yeah, it's a little rainy today. No big deal. And we go out and start playing, and we are absolutely dumped on by the first hole. I mean, I'm soaked to the bone. My shirt is completely wet. My pants are wet. But I'm knocking the crap out of the golf ball. And I'm like, well, this feels pretty good. I haven't swung a club in 6 months, a little time away. And the guys we were playing with, oh, don't worry, it'll break up. Yeah, I know, I've been here. No, absolutely, it's going to break up. It never broke up. And we got through 9 holes, and we were, huddled under trees waiting for the rain to pass. And that was it. And he looked at me, I looked at him. He goes, I'm going to go in and see if I can get some of our money back, like a rain check. I go, all right, I'm going to go get a sandwich, and you go do that. And he's like, done. So he goes in and gets half our money back. Well, I'm eating my sandwich, and I look up and I go, oh, that's Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan walks by.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire, James Bond, Pierce Brosnan.
The Thomas Crown Affair.
James Bond. The Thomas Crown Affair walks by as I'm eating my sandwich. And I thought, that's going to be the most interesting part of my day today. And boy, was I mistaken. And I said hello to him and told him, I'm a big fan. He was just in Mobland. And I said, I'm big fan of your work. He's like, thanks. I mean, listen, it was a little bit intimidating for like a 75-year-old Englishman. So I really thought this is going to be the coolest part of my day, the most interesting part of my day.
Can we stop real quick?
Brosnan.
Just quick timeout. How does this always happen to you? And by
especially
the way,
on vacation,
you're not like in New York City, in Los Angeles, like, where there may be a bunch of stars. You're in Hawaii. You're in Joshua Tree. You're in Big Bear. Like,
crazy.
It's insane how this always happens to you. Right. Shia LaBeouf.
It is pretty nuts. Yeah, that's true. That was in Arrowhead. Which was nuts. But yeah, there was 2 people at a buffet, and one of them was me. The other one was Shia LaBeouf, and I'm standing there going, "Oh, good morning." But so man, I got to tell you guys too. So we go home, and my brother's wife's pretty stoked, and Hannah's pretty stoked that we're home. Probably 2 hours early at least. We load up the kids. We go down to Hundley Bay, which, if you've never been or seen it, the most beautiful setting you could ever imagine to sit at the beach. We walk out, and I actually remarked when we're walking down, of course, lugging Tommy Bahama umbrellas and chairs behind us, like total tourist weirdo slobs.
Howleys.
And we're going down there, Howleys. And sure enough, man, like I looked at the water and I go, it looks like a pond. There was so still. I mean, there was nothing. It was just as still and blue as could be. I said, this is going to be a great day. We legitimately had one of the best days I can ever remember as a family. I took my nephews down to the pier. We jumped off the pier. I got to tell you about my 14-year-old nephew, remind me, pulling a phone number live and in person in front of me and the family yesterday, which was unbelievable. So we had the most beautiful day. Bo and I holding hands, snorkeling through the bay. Like, he comes into my arms. I'm holding him, and I go, buddy, real quick, look around and take this in. And I said, these are the days when I'm dead and gone. These are the days you are going to remember. And he was like, it was just incredible. It was truly.
Did you actually say that?
I was
that
gonna
seems
ask,
like not something you
use
should tell
those
your
exact
You
words?
said those words
on my children's souls. I literally held both. Taylor wouldn't let me hold him because he was a little bit afraid of the water. But I was holding Bo in my arms, and I go, "Take a moment." Something we've been working on with our kids. They may be a little spoiled. So we're talking a lot about gratitude, and I'm holding this and I go, look around, man, look around. These are the days when I'm gone. You will remember when you're here with your family one day. These are the days that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And sure enough, man, about 10 hours later, we got back after being evacuated from a tsunami warning. It was truly the most insane day I can ever remember.
So where were you when the tsunami warning hit?
I was sitting in a Tommy Bahama beach chair talking to my father-in-law, and Bo and his cousin were snorkeling with my mother-in-law, and Hannah and my sister-in-law were laying out next to us. And sure enough, man, the entire beach gets an alert on our phones, and right? We're like, what the hell? Somebody's missing, obviously, like an Amber Alert. We look down. I tweeted. It's the one I tweeted at 3:05. It basically said, "Get out of here." Essentially, the lifeguard jumps on and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, you've all just received the alert. If you could go ahead and evacuate the beach in a professional manner," is what he said. The beach is now closed. And we are looking at each other like, are they serious right now? So it's about maybe 150 yards from the beach to our home. So we all walk down, we load up the umbrellas, the chairs, everything, the boogie boards, and we load up, we come back, and we're like, what? Of course, the first thing you think is, do we really have to leave? Like, is this serious? So I look out the front window, man, and there's already a huge line of cars waiting to exit, because again, there's one road in and out of here, essentially, and when I go, guys, look, like, this is legit. And you turn on the news, you start looking at Twitter, and you go, yeah, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here right now. So asked my father-in-law, where do we go? He said, go to Kilauea. And I said, okay, we've been there before. Went to that burger joint, that Hawaiian burger joint out in Kilauea. So
Big
we'll meet
Kahuna
there.
Burger?
My brother
had tasty burger.
Yeah, the Big Kahuna burger.
You gonna Sprite?
That is a tasty burger. Yeah, delicious Sprite to wash it down. So we load up. We are panicked, dude. I mean, like, there's a little bit of panic setting in because, I got two small kids. They're hearing the alerts. They're seeing the panic in our eyes and hearing the panic in our voice. We don't know what to pack. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we're doing. We load up. I can't find my wallet. My wallet's gone.
Oh.
And I'm like, I think a wallet will be important in this scenario. And I'm tearing the house apart. I got an AirTag in it. I can't find it. Call my brother. Dude, do you have my wallet? Did you see my wallet? He goes, I have your wallet. He goes, it looks just like mine. So I grabbed it. I'm like, all right, well, meet me at this burger joint, so at least I get my wallet back. So, man, all in, we get outside, and there's just traffic, all the way to Kilauea. But we made it. Then we get to Kilauea, and every other car in the our vicinity, they're all heading there. The restaurants there closed. There's no food. There's nowhere to go, and we're all hanging out in parking lots. And we were pretty panicked, man. And you want to keep a calm-ish demeanor. I'm not a calm guy, even when there's not a tsunami warning. So, I think I did a pretty good job. Hannah did a pretty good job too, keeping everybody cool and calm. Once we got there, I was like, I'll go get food for everybody. 3 restaurants. I walked up to the door and was like, I'm ready to place an order. They're like, we are closed. And they flipped the sign in my face. So my kids are starving. Everyone's hungry. Finally found a place that made poke bowls and got poke bowls and rice for everybody. And we ate it on the hood of the car as we waited. And once we were in Kilauea, which is higher ground, that's when the sirens started going off. Every 30 minutes, loud air raid sirens, and we're going, and my kids at this point are like, all right, we're a little nervous. So, I mean, there's still so much. Like, it's crazy.
Keep in mind,
here,
also just
Hawaii
quickly,
time.
Woods, I see like Jordan in the chat said, well, San Diego also got a tsunami warning. It's not that big of a deal. No. So we got a tsunami watch, which is common when any time there's an earthquake in an ocean everywhere around. It's just going to get a watch. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, but just be ready. We got upgraded to an advisory, which is like, okay, maybe there's some minor impacts coming your way. Woods got an actual tsunami warning. That means a tsunami is coming. We don't know how big it is for sure and what the impact's going to be, but you are probably going to get hit. And where Woods is in Kauai is essentially the westernmost point in the United States, pointed out toward Russia, where the tsunami is coming from.
The first part of Hawaii that would be affected.
Yeah, the first person who's going to be affected by this, and we don't know how serious it's going to be, will be people at Hundley Bay. That's like the ground zero for whatever is coming. Now, ultimately, Woods, when the tsunami did hit, they had, I heard they had some tsunamis like surge, but nothing that was really destructive, fortunately, and everyone appears to be okay.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, listen, you run into, and I say it's not just Jordan. And I look, yeah, you're right, man. Ultimately, I'm here, I'm alive. Our house is still fine. Like, there's nothing that really happened. But you know, because again, my initial reaction was, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to pack up, and yeah, let's just be here. But man, when you see the locals and they're tearing ass out of here because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what kind of got me a little bit. I saw the locals tearing ass, and I'll say, man, like, you deal with a lot of sports hardos in this business. I can be a sports hardo. Ben can, Paulie can. There's nothing worse than a weather hardo. I've realized that last night. I had a couple guys on your tweet, Ben, with my video, like, nothing's going to happen. I'm like, if you could prognosticate the weather, buddy, you wouldn't be on Twitter with 59 followers. You would be sitting somewhere like, only God can predict exactly what's going to happen. And it's those people that are the ones that end up sitting on their roof waiting for a helicopter to come rescue them because they're weather hardos. You don't know the weather. If we know anything these days, the weather is unpredictable as hell. Ask those families in Texas with flash floods. My nephew, his teammate lost a sister in that. And so you just don't know what's going to happen.
Dude, and when you get that notification on your phone, when you get that weather advisory, and it said, I mean, I read the one that you sent us, like your lock screen, the announcement, and it says literally in there, you are in danger. Now, I don't know if that's just, I don't want to say a scare tactic, but if they're just saying like, hey, we're talking in extremes here to get people to start moving, then I understand that. But still, especially when you don't live there and know everything and your surroundings, like when you read that on your phone, you are in danger. That's terrifying.
And you start asking. I asked a guy at the restaurant when we got to higher ground. I said, "How long you been here?" He goes, 55 years. And I go, "You ever see anything like this?" He goes, "Never." He said, we've gotten the alerts and stuff before. We had a kind of rough one, 11 years ago. He goes, but he goes, nothing like this. He said, never. And with as unpredictable as the weather is, when you see the panic in that dude's eyes, and yeah, like I got my little kids there with me, there's no way I'm going to sit here in this house and be like, yeah, ain't nothing going to happen to us. Because again, then I'm on a door floating, waiting for somebody to come rescue me because I didn't evacuate like I was told to do. Yeah, I have no regrets about doing it. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare of a day, no question, and night. But man, ultimately, yeah, we're safe. Everybody's happy, or everybody's healthy. The kids were, I can't even tell you, dude, I'm probably going to choke up. My kids, and you guys know this, I share a lot about my kids on the air. They can be very difficult at times. These two dudes yesterday were heroes. I mean, when I say not one single complaint for 10 hours, nothing, like no bitching, no grousing, no moaning, nothing. They were, yes, dad, yes, mom, as good as they could possibly be. I was like, I will buy each of you a car. Like you were so good. I could not be more proud of how they behaved yesterday. It was just incredible. And
hey, Tay-Tay.
All the locals were.
So
amazing.
we're in the car. We've been evacuated. What are we waiting for? Salami. What is it? Salami. And the salami's coming right now?
Salami.
Are you nervous? No. Okay. Well, we'll wait and see what happens. Hopefully the salami doesn't hurt us, right? Yeah. All right, buddy.
Oh my God.
He's unbelievable. When he said that, I go, oh my God. I got to get this on air.
That's amazing.
But man, dude, it was, and again, let me say this too. I got so many DMs and so many tweets and so many texts. I can't thank you guys enough for your genuine concern about me and my family. I really can't. It was overwhelmingly heartwarming and sweet. And I wish I could have written every single one of you back. I couldn't believe it. And my mom and dad are up and they're watching. And we're okay. And everybody's okay. It was such a trip, though. I mean, it really was such a trip. And the waiting for the all clear was like, it's like we were sitting in a bank parking lot, like just waiting for the all clear. And once we got it, man, you heard all these car engines start up. You see all these lights pop on, and then there's just this big line of cars to get back into.
I saw like overhead footage of like the one road, like you said, getting out of there and the traffic. Yeah. I mean, it was gridlock, like nobody was moving, and I'm like, that looked awful.
You guys, and I have to shout out KKCR. It was it's Kauai Public Radio, and they had the same two people on, I think, the entire show. And you know, they're getting really punchy by the end of it because they're trying to keep everybody updated. They're like, by the end of it, they're like, okay, brothers and sisters, please drive safe because safe driving is pleasing and very important when you drive safely to be pleased to get home to your ohana, aloha, and mahalo. They had lost their minds. They were on for 7-8 straight hours. I'm listening to this and I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, I've been there. I've been in those times where you don't know what's going on. The power of radio. It was so comforting to me to get updates mixed in with some music requests that they were also playing, which was just fantastic. It was community radio. They saved us, man. They really did. And that's where we heard we were all clear. Got home 11:40, and I was like, yeah, man, I can't call in tired tomorrow because if that were the case, I don't think anybody would be here this morning. We're actually going to have a tired off later on the show, our very first tired off, but we made it. We're okay. We're here, and I'm a little bit out of it, but we're going to get through it.
Glad you're all good. Really, we are. And I'm glad your kids were so good, although they were probably silently contemplating the terrifying realization that their dad is going to die someday, which they hadn't thought of before you brought it up. So I'm not surprised they were pretty good.
I like to keep it real with them, as you guys know.
All right, let's get going. You know what? We'll just get to traffic. We'll come back on the other side after the bottom of the hour and set the menu for the program today. Obviously, we will get into some Padres talk as well. Another big win, 4 in a row for your San Diego Padres as they pull away from the New York Mets last night for a 7-1 win. Didn't have a salami, but they did have a 3-run shot from Manny Machado in that game. Yeah, buddy. We'll talk all about that coming up. Glad to have everybody with us. Tired Woods, tired Ben. Paulie's even a little bit tired as well, but we're here, and we're glad the Tier 1s are here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fame.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Wednesday morning, Ben and Woods. Woods is okay for everyone just tuning in. Yeah, he's on his Hawaiian vacation. They got through the tsunami warning all right. They're back in their house, and hopefully you'll actually get some relaxation over the next few days because you really haven't totally gotten to enjoy your vacation yet. You've worked 2 mornings in a row.
Yeah. I think I'm on a total of like 4 to 6 hours in the last 48 hours of sleep. And, Padres have won 4 games in a row, which I think is outstanding. And I'm very happy. I've had 4 minutes of relaxation on this trip. So we are for every win, I get an extra minute of relaxation here in the most beautiful place in the world. And like I told you guys at the break, there's nothing Kawhi could do to me to make me hate her. I still like want to die here. If I had to die, this is the place I want to die. I love it so much. It's the best place on the planet. So, nowhere to go but up from here. And but man, it was cool watching the game last night, huddled around a phone, eating poke bowls on the hood of a car, listening to air raid sirens. My details on the game are a little bit sketchy. I'm not going to lie, but we were in and out watching it because we were trying to get updates and all that. But, saw the plays that mattered, and very, very stoked for the boys.
We got you covered. We will wrap it all up coming up with the highlights of Jesse and Tony of last night's 7-1 win over the Mets coming up. We will also continue to talk about tomorrow's trade deadline. More rumors yesterday, but no trades involving your San Diego Padres. We heard about Dylan Cease and a new team that might be interested. We have a rumor this morning. In fact, if you want to pop it up there, Paulie, on our YouTube stream, Jeff Passan just coming with this little nugget saying the Padres, as always, are toying with doing something big. But he just kind of leaves it at that. And we are left to wonder what exactly something big means for AJ Preller, who always seems to come up with something big around the trade deadline. I was going back, though. AJ Preller really hasn't pulled off a significant trade since last year's trade deadline when he got Tanner Scott and Jason Adam. Since then, he's traded Connor Joe for, nothing, and traded Tom Cosgrove for nothing. There's only been minor deals. It's been like a year since he's really pulled off a fairly significant trade. The guy must be kind of chomping at the bit to do something because it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it has. And the thing that I fear for all of us is that we are and have honestly worked ourselves up into a frenzy thinking about what, is out there to get. There is the very distinct possibility that nothing lines up, nothing of any magnitude lines up. And that, I think that's going to be disappointing for the fan base. And if I learned anything from yesterday's events is, you got to be prepared, and preparation is key. So be prepared, potentially to be disappointed. I'm. It's not for a lack of wanting to make a massive move and vastly improve the team, but other teams want to trade too. They may have better prospects. They may have more to offer. Don't get yourself into a tizzy thinking you're going to trade for, the next big thing to help this offense or this pitching staff or whatever, because it may not happen.
Well, the offense going pretty well right now, top to bottom, and we'll go through it.
Yep.
We will also have a Big League Wednesday guest on. We like to have a former major leaguer join us or a current major leaguer every single Wednesday. And this week, we will be catching up with one of our favorites. Paulie has tracked down former Padre Nick Hundley, now special assistant to Rangers general manager Chris Young, does some scouting, does some work with their organization. And we'll talk a little bit about the Rangers, who are one of the more interesting teams at the trade deadline here. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Could they be a potential partner with the Padres on a deal? Kyle Higashioka, whose name we've mentioned a couple of times, he hit 2 home runs last night, is a reunion potentially in the cards. And we'll talk a little catching as well. We had a big discussion yesterday about the value of Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado, and if the Padres really do need to upgrade, what do they bring beyond their, last 2 nights for Elias Diaz, not much offensively. Of course, now he's getting hot right before the trade deadline just to add another layer to this whole thing about what the Padres should or should not do with their catching core here. So we'll talk a little bit about it with Nick Hundley coming up at 7:35. Woods, I know we're excited about that.
Always excited to talk to Nick, man. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And, him and Skip Schumacher just having a handsome off out there in Texas every time they get together. Hey, who's more handsome? You are. No, you are. No, you are. No, you are. Love Nick. Great, great dude. Salt of the earth type guy. Very, very knowledgeable, man. Very knowledgeable. And I want to ask him, about that thing we talked about, hey, man, you're integrating into a new team. Have you ever had to learn a pitching staff on the fly and things like that? I think that stuff is fascinating. I could listen to that all day.
It was also it's been a good week, actually, for the Padres in the wild card standings. We'll update you on the rest of baseball in the second half of the program. And we'll have all of our regular features, including Don't Do This, Take on Woods. We'll pay off the incorporator, Jesse, needing to work the Hawaiian slang word Howley into the broadcast. He did. We'll pay that off for you a little bit later. A Reindl Report as well, and a giveaway. And if you were listening in our 9 o'clock hour yesterday, I promised that we would give away those Heart tickets early. So let's do that right now before our Padres Wrap-Up. If you are interested in attending the Heart concert at Pechanga Arena on August 13th, you can call now and win. Fifth caller at 833-288-0973 is going to win 2 tickets to Heart at Pechanga Arena on August 13th, 833-288-0973. Limited tickets remain at AXS.com if you want to get your own, or call now to win. Paulie will take our phone calls while we play our Padres Wrap-Up highlights of last night's 7-1 win over the New York Mets. We'll break it down right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Islands Restaurants. Couple hazards to watch out for, guys. South 805 at Murray Ridge, stalled pickup truck over to the right shoulder. And North 5 Coastline before the racetrack. We are getting reports of some car parts and other debris in the right lanes. Islands Restaurants, summer refreshment, paradise ambience, and the best burgers in town, like the Big Wave with cheese and fresh cut fries. $10 now for a limited time only. Visit one of our Islands Restaurants throughout Southern California today. Dine in only. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres Wrap-Up.
brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
Pitch, and Merrill swings, lines it towards second. Beatty backs up, can't make the play. Into right field, and an RBI single for Jackson Merrill as Fernando comes in to score. Padres take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. 2-2 to Juan Soto. 51st pitch of the night is hit hard on the ground right side. Diving stop. Cronenworth to his left. Gets up and throws him out. Hang a star, Jake Cronenworth. Taking a hit away from Juan Soto, and one down in the top of the fourth inning. And Marte swings, sends it in the air to center field, not too deep. Merrill is going to give way to Tatis, who cut in front of him. Beatty tags. He will score. Fernando making an executive decision there to cut in front of Merrill at the last moment, presumably because he's got the better arm. But the throw off target, not in time, and the tying run scores as Beatty crosses the plate. It's 1-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Jackson swings, high chopper over Alonso, a fair ball down the right field line. Arise speeding around second, he's at third. Tim Leeper's going to wave him. Marte's got a cannon. The throw home is in front of the dish, and Arise scores all the way from first as Merrill triples in a run on a chopper over the first base bag, and the Padres lead it 2-1. 0-1 pitch. Diaz hits it hard on the ground. Fair up the third baseline. That'll roll all the way into the corner and get at least one run home. Iglesias has scored. Cronenworth is on his way. How about a 2-run double for Elias Diaz? And a 4-1 Padre lead in the seventh. 1-1 to Manny. And Machado laces it in the air to deep left. Nimmo back to watch this one. Gonna go! A 3-run exclamation point home run for Manny Machado. His 20th of the year. And the Padre lead is now 7-1. 1-2 from Matsui. Yuki is ready. Now the pitch on the way. Terren swings, grounds it up the middle. Xander has got it. Throw to first base is low, but handled by Arise, and the ball game is over. Padres use a 5-run seventh inning and more great pitching out of their bullpen to roll to a 7-1 win over the Mets. And tomorrow afternoon, they will take out their brooms and try and sweep this series.
You know, we're getting production from the top of the order, but, you know, when the bottom can do what Diaz has done the last couple of nights, Johnson taking good at bats recently. It's really important. Crony, also an unsung hero offensively, he's not going to show up a lot in the box scores, but 2 at bats that took 23 pitches of Manaea 77 at the time, and 2 at bats, nothing to show for it in the box score, but those are big at bats. That counts and starts to drain the battery a little bit, and also shortens the outing. But clearly a big 2-run double by Diaz.
Another sellout crowd, another electric atmosphere, and another win for your San Diego Padres, Woods. It was another impressive night.
Massively impressive. And I loved Crony getting a shout out there. That is like, again, it doesn't show up in the numbers. It doesn't show up. We talked with Jesse yesterday about, Bryce Johnson getting that hit the other day to get Elias Diaz up in that inning so you can lead off with the top of the order in the next inning. I mean, it's those little things. And look, man, the Padres have absolutely tripped over themselves sometimes doing the little things this season, as every single baseball team does. But as of late, man, it's those little things that start to add up. And Crony up there just grinding out ABs, I thought was just, again, so massive. You don't really get any credit for it, in the stat sheet. And that's the tough part. But just so integral to winning baseball games.
Padres offense has started to, as Manny had hinted and Mike Schilt had tried to tell us a couple of weeks ago, even before the All-Star break, he thought it looked like, guys were coming around, taking better at-bats, and he expected the production to follow. Well, now it really has, and the Padres have put together, 4 or 5-run innings just in the last 10 days or so. 7-run games. They've become very common now here in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. And it's because, Fernando Tatis Jr. is doing some things at the top. Luis Arraez now has a 12-game hitting streak. He's been hot. Manny Machado, keeps getting 2-hit games. Yesterday, he decided, well, let's just do the 3-run home run. Xander's been hot. Jackson is heating up. We really haven't seen this where the top of the order has done well. And hey, yeah, anything you get now from the bottom of the order, like a big hit from Elias Diaz again for the second straight night, his 2-run double coming through in the clutch, that's how you then can start breaking games open. And we've seen that from the Padres a little bit more of late.
I did enjoy your tweet last night about the predictability, though, of the bunting, the constant bunting. I look, you score 7 runs, you're not going to pick this thing apart, every time you do. But yeah, it is getting a little bit predictable. And again, I don't know. I just can't for the life of me imagine that Schilt gives them the old, drop one down here in the first inning, to get the runner over. I just can't imagine it happening. But again, I also haven't really seen it stopped yet. And again, we talked to Schilt about this the last time we spoke to him, and he's going to let these guys be themselves. And so far, look, that's working. But I liked your tweet. I thought it made a lot of sense about you don't ever want to become so predictable that the other team kind of knows.
Yeah, that was in the bottom of the second inning. Jose Iglesias had doubled and then got to third base, and Bryce Johnson was at the plate. And I think every Padres fan who's been observant was probably thinking, is there a safety squeeze coming? Because it's something the Padres, especially of late, have really added to their repertoire. And I'm not against the small ball. It actually, I think, has helped the Padres kind of focus in and has gotten the offense moving at times when it wasn't going so well. But the other teams notice that, and you have to adjust. They are now selling out and crashing in. And Sean Manaea and the corner infielders were like, okay, we see Bryce Johnson and a runner at third. We're just going to sprint right at you. And at some point, you just have to keep them honest and go, guess what? I'm going to fake bunt, and I'm going to pull away, and I may kill you with a line drive if you keep doing that. So, Padres have to realize that other teams are on to what they've been doing lately. It wasn't super costly. It may have taken away a run. It may not have. I don't know that Bryce Johnson was going to bring Jose Iglesias in. He got a bit of a slow jump on that one as well, and Manaea is a good defender. Not a huge issue in the game, but I just wanted to point out that we all see it. I mean, if fans know it's coming, I've got to imagine that Carlos Mendoza and other, coaching staffs have a good idea as well that it's coming also.
Yeah, you're not taking anybody by surprise. And, listen, Luis Arraez, the sack bunt in the first inning, and it's like, That was last night, right? That was last night. He did it
Yep,
again.
he did.
Yeah.
And they did get around, they came around
know,
to score on a 2-out hit by Jackson Merrill in the first inning and scored a run.
Which again, fine. It's all, but again, like it's Luis Ariz. I there's a time and place for it. I don't want to pick these guys apart. I did think last night, I did see one of the weirder plays I've ever seen. The Fernando Tatis Jr., Kelly Leak, robbing his teammate of a catch and throw. I thought that was wild. My wife asked me, what possible explanation is there for that? I go, honestly, I think the dude is just so locked in. And I think he's so locked in on trying to win. I don't, obviously he's not, doesn't think Jackson Merrill's terrible or I need to go get this. And I just think he's so locked in and fired up.
Well, I thought Jesse had it
over.
absolutely right. And I didn't really have a problem with it. It didn't work out. Jackson Merrill knows as well. Fernando Tatis Jr. has the best arm perhaps you're going to see. And even though he wasn't in as good of a position, I'll take my chances with Fernando pulling off a spectacular play and gunning down the guy at the plate. No offense to Jackson. I'm sure he would admit the same thing. Like if he knew he was coming, he probably would have said, Toddy, I'll clear out. You take this and see if you can gun that guy down at the plate because we've seen him do it so many times. Now, in hindsight, maybe Jackson with better positioning might have actually had the better chance to throw him out. But yeah, I saw people, the Kelly Leak play, just go ahead and just take the play away from all your inferior teammates if you have a chance. I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's logical. You got a great arm. You've got a chance to catch that ball. You go for it.
For everyone saying that Tatis had a better angle, he didn't.
No.
He did not have a better. Jackson Merrill's coming straight ahead. Tatis had to run this way, cross him up, and then throw almost across his body. Yes, you want Fernando taking the throw on a line every time. He did not have a better angle. I mean, I'll defend that to the death. He was coming across and had to go across his body. He does have a better arm. Everybody knows that. He also ran 60 yards to get that fly ball that Jackson was camped under. Again, I think the dude is just locked in, saucer. Eyes look like saucers right now, trying to make plays. But it was crazy. It was crazy. Of course, everyone's going to take it and spin it as he's some egomaniac. Guys trying to win baseball games. I really don't have a problem with it. I just thought it was one of the funnier plays I've seen at the big league level in a long, long time.
On the pitching side, another solid effort by Ryan Bergert. Doesn't get the win, but the first 4 innings were good. Gets into trouble in the 5th, and Mike Schilt aggressively goes to his bullpen. And this may have been a completely different game if not for Jeremiah Estrada. Yes, he allowed 1 run to score, but with the bases loaded and nobody out, to keep the Mets to 1 in that situation, Unreal. A good team with a good offense, huge. Phenomenal job. It was an absolute game-saving performance by Jeremiah Estrada. Again, Adrian Morejon doing what Adrian Morejon does. And then when they pulled away, you were able to use Ron Marinaccio and Yuki Matsui, Wandy Peralta at the end of the game. You had ended up with 5 innings, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts from the Padres bullpen. So another phenomenal performance by the pen. And you still have now likely a Jason Adam and a Robert Suarez usable and fresh going into an off day tomorrow for this afternoon's game. So that was huge. And then I wanted to throw this in, because you heard Jake Cronenworth's outstanding defensive play to Rob Juan Soto earlier in the game. Juan Soto has had just an absolutely miserable 2 days. The umpire,
knock on wood,
absolutely took some strikes away from him, struck out looking a couple times yesterday, and then gets robbed by Jake, and then fouls the ball off his foot and has to come out of the game. Who knows if he even plays in today's game for the New York Mets, depending on how that foot is feeling. But it has not been a pleasant return to America's finest city for Juan Soto, who I was stunned. I mean, he's having a good season, but he's hitting under 250 right now, which was shocking to me, because he's got his OPS is good. It's like 880, but the average is way down, and we kind of saw that for a while when Juan Soto struggled here in San Diego as well. The Mets seeing a little bit of that throughout the season here too.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what you want. A recipe for success is shutting that guy down, getting a little help when you can get it from the boys in blue behind the plate. So I'm just so amazed at these 2 wins, man. Huge wins.
All right, we gave away those Heart tickets. Charlie, our winner, I believe. Yep. Thanks for calling in. Congratulations. We'll have some more to give away tomorrow. And we still have trade rumors swirling around. The new team that could be poking the tires on Dylan Cease coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Sure feels like nothing is happening here at this trade deadline when we all expected a lot to happen, not just with the Padres, but just around Major League Baseball. There's been so many rumors, so many players that have been talked about, starters, relievers, offensive players. And yeah, we've had a handful of moves. Josh Naylor last week, had a one or two yesterday. And I thought, is something going wrong? Have they misidentified how busy it's going to be, Woods? And I was looking, our friends, Cespedes Family Barbecue. This was kind of a nice little resource that they tweeted out yesterday. It was a chart, and it was the number of trades based on the days leading up to each trade deadline over the last 25 years.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, this is kind of telling, because if you look like 2 days before the trade deadline, which was yesterday, and you just go year by year, you see, 0, 1, 4, 1, 1 trade, 2 trades, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. And you don't really see a ton of trades until, all right, you get the day before the trade deadline. Last year, there was 11 trades. The year before, there was 8. The year before that, there was 10, then 8, then 4. So you start to see it ramping up today. And then on trade deadline day, any idea? Any guess? How many trades were there on trade deadline day last year, Woods?
32.
32 is exactly right. So you've seen that chart as well.
Wow.
I'm looking at it right now.
How'd you know that?
32, 22 in 2023, 28 in 2022, 26, 19, 25. So it's not uncommon for it to feel slow in these days leading up to the trade deadline. When the floodgates open, when the dam bursts, the trades come really fast. So it's not necessarily something's off, like the market's not shaping up the way GMs are thinking it's going to. This is actually quite normal in the days leading up to the trade deadline, that there's mostly smoke, mostly talk, mostly rumors, but not really a lot of activity until we get to the final 28 to 36 hours before the trade deadline, which is right now where we're finally getting into that period.
Yeah, I yesterday when we left to go down to the beach, I my phone was almost dead, and I said, "Man, I am really risking it here by leaving it on the charger." When we got the alert notification of the tsunami warning, it was on Hannah's phone, my father-in-law's, my mother-in-law's. I didn't have my phone with me. I left it here plugged in, and I go, "Am I really gonna go down to the beach and spend a couple of hours at least before the game starts and just not have my phone on me?" So I kept going back and going to Hannah, any updates? Any updates? And she's like, "No, there's no updates. There's nothing happening. Stop coming and asking me about updates." I'm like, all right. And yeah, sure enough, Benny, I think, we've been together as a show for 8 years, 7 years. And we have this conversation every single year. We're like, what the hell's taking so long? What's going on? These guys, they overestimated the market. And no, it's just the way that it typically has been for the last 25 years. So we need to remember that next year when we have this conversation again.
One thing I do firmly believe, and we've talked about this before, you often hear the Padres brought up in these trade talk rumors by, Buster Olney, Jeff Passan, Ken Rosenthal. Yep. But I think 90 to 95% of that is always coming from other GMs who are talking to AJ Preller. AJ Preller over the years has gotten pretty buttoned up in terms of what is leaked out to the media from his side. It's really not much at all this time of year. So anytime you're hearing like, the Padres have had discussions with the Red Sox, the Padres are talking with the Guardians and so, it's probably because another GM says, "Oh yeah, AJ Preller called me and was looking into this guy," because AJ doesn't tell you who he's looking into. That's not how he operates. So yesterday got the report from ESPN that the Houston Astros all of a sudden are interested in Dylan Cease to bolster their starting rotation, first place in the AL West, but have had some injuries and could use a veteran frontline type starting pitcher, similar to the way they picked up Yusei Kikuchi down the stretch last year. And he pitched very well for them down the stretch and earned himself a nice little free agent contract with the Angels in the offseason. And they're thinking perhaps Dylan Cease could do the same thing for them this year in the final 2 months of the season. But my guess is that they're hearing that from the other side of the coin, and not because A.J. Preller saying, oh, yeah, the Astros definitely interested in Dylan Cease right now. But who knows how much truth there is, Woods, to that rumor.
I've said it a billion times. I would love to be a fly on the wall, for all those conversations. And, let's not be naive to think that GMs and extensions of GMs don't have people that they can absolutely text and go, oh man, things are cooking over here, right? I don't want to say any names, but we all know who works with AJ Preller. There's a very good chance that somebody could easily reach out and go, hey, we got a little movement here. Feel free to run with that. Source unnamed at this point. You want to get things going. I wonder how much of that, the back channel stuff, the leaking of misinformation. I wonder how much of it goes on. I think we'd all probably be surprised to find out the actual truth of how it all works.
Now, could the Padres match up with the Astros on a trade? At least on the surface,
I have no idea.
It seems somewhat unlikely. If you're looking for a bat to help you right away, well, the Astros are obviously not wanting to give up a lot of their bats. They've had some injuries. They don't have a lot of depth. They do have a couple of upper-level prospects who have made it up to the big leagues in Jacob Melton and Bryce Matthews, but neither seems like they're ready to truly star right now. I mean, they're both hitting in the 200 range, had a couple of home runs. They've had basically just a cup of coffee. Now, they are, I think, the second and third-ranked prospects as well in the Astros system, but I don't know if that helps the Padres right away. And if you're looking for maybe prospects to flip to another team, the Astros minor league system is not highly ranked. It's near the bottom of the barrel. I think I saw, 29th out of 30 teams in one ranking system. So you're not exactly, picking from the cream of the crop if you're trying to get prospects for Dylan Cease that you can trade to another organization. So at least on the surface, it doesn't look like the Astros would be a particularly great trade partner for the Padres if they were looking at Dylan Cease.
Man, it's just weird. Every team that's named as a potential landing spot for Dylan Cease, they're all in it. We're in it, and we're very much in it, So again, I think brace yourself for the possibility that Dylan Cease stays, and you squeeze every bit of juice out of the lemon you can get until he walks in free agency, which he most certainly will. Look, if that's the case, great. But, if you're the New York Yankees, you're like, no, we don't want to give you Ben Rice or Austin Wells and another bat for Dylan Cease. We're still in this thing too. And we need that offensive help with Aaron Judge being on the IL, things like that, right? Like I just matching up with another contender in the AL that they're in it. They're going for a World Series too. It's just a weird place to be. The old buyer seller thing is strange. So I don't know. Every day I go back and forth on what to do with Dylan Cease. And I think, Paulie has been pretty steadfast in his, keep Dylan Cease. We need the innings. And I can be convinced. I absolutely can be convinced either way.
Is Dylan Cease going to ever turn it around this season? I was reading Tom Verducci this morning talking about who are the best frontline starting pitchers available, and he certainly listed Dylan Cease, but when he said, is he really going to help a contender, his ruling was unlikely. It just doesn't look like Dylan Cease is going to figure it out this season. I mean, he's had plenty of opportunities going out every fifth day and has just never been able to quite get it going this year.
Well, that being said, man, pitching in a wall, look, and again, there's a lot of factors, right? As we've said many times, that stuff still exists, and the ability to go out and absolute strike out the side, no problem. I mean, just look dominant is there. We've all seen it. Flashes of it here and there. I think pitching in a walk year, also being rumored to be traded. Oh, these guys are human, and I think Dylan Cease. We've talked to him plenty of times. Does it get much more human than Dylan Cease? He actually, yes, I have other interests. I do this, and I collect bees and art, and I play Frisbee. There's a human being in there. And so I think all that stuff, look, Ben, if it were me and you and Paulie, no one would be more affected by trade rumors than me, no one would be less affected by trade rumors than you, and Paulie would be somewhere in the middle. It's just the way that it goes. It's 3 different personalities. We all have good stuff that we bring to the table. It would wreck me emotionally. You'd be fine, like the psychopath that you are, and Paulie would be somewhere in the middle, And so I think you have to factor that stuff in as well. The promise of Dylan Cease, it's why people are interested in getting him. And so I don't know, man. I'm not going to be surprised if he stays.
Well, I mean, if I'm another GM and I'm looking at Dylan Cease, here's the problem. I often will target a pitcher and, think, okay, change of scenery is what he needs. The scenery in San Diego is great. He's got a great pitching coach. He's got a great environment. He's got supportive teammates. He's not leaving a bad situation. He's not going from a last place team to a pennant contender where he gets that shot of adrenaline. If you go from San Diego to wherever, Houston, I only think it gets harder. Now you're adding even more pressure because, hey, we just traded for you. The fans are expecting you to perform, and you're still in that contract drive. And Let's be honest. I think we all said early in the year when Dylan Cease was struggling a little bit, doesn't matter. He's not costing himself a single dollar. He's still going to be the prize ticket in free agency. You were wrong, and I was wrong. He has cost himself a good deal of money. I'm not saying he won't get a good contract. He will, but it ain't going to be anything like we thought it was going to be because there will be more teams with way more reservations. GMs and owners are going to be hesitant to go, I'm willing to give 5 years, $270 million. No, they're not. They're not going. They're going to look at the performance this year and go, maybe we get some options going in this contract. And, we'll give him some money up front, but we're not going to give him a ton of back end money. Or if he has cost himself money this year, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'll definitely wear that one. But I will also, you're a pretty logical guy. Season ain't over yet.
True.
There's still time. I mean, there is absolutely still time. And I think all of us, Padre fans, I think we would all be happy to have a big egg smashed right on our forehead, the yolk and whatever the other stuff, the egg white running down your face. We'd all be elated with egg on our face because Dylan Cease absolutely flipped it and goes out and starts to shove. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not. It's just not. We have seen it, flashes of it. His performance against the Dodgers, we're all going to go back to. He was ungodly good. It's there. It's in there. How do you get it? How do you overcome the clearly mental hurdles that he has when he pitches sometimes? The 1 inning meltdown. How do you get through that? If he figures that out, Ben, whether he does it for the Boston Red Sox or the New York Yankees or the what's the team you just mentioned? I'm losing my
Astros.
mind. The Astros or the San Diego Padres. It could absolutely happen. It absolutely could happen. Not saying it will, but I'm saying it could.
I'd love to be making a 3-egg Dylan Cease, Xander Bogaerts, Elias Diaz omelet at the end of the season from guys that we've kind of written off as going to be productive for the San Diego Padres. Xander's already turned it around. Maybe Dylan Cease. I mean, he's more likely to turn it around than I think Xander was a month and a half ago. And Xander, we talked about it yesterday, has not only been good, he's been one of the best players in the National League. For the last month and a half. He really has.
He's been great. And, the defense was there all year. And, same with Tatis when he slumped, same with Merrill when he slumped. So these guys none of these guys really have gone into a full tailspin other than maybe Dylan from our perspective. But, man, I listen, you don't hear it much on sports radio. I'm so happy to be wrong. I am so happy to be wrong on all of that. I want it all shoved in my face. That sounded weird. I want to be wrong on all of those takes because that just means these guys are performing and we're winning ball games.
All right, quickly, who do we still think is going to be buyers and sellers? I'm perusing through, obviously, the National League standings and the wild card playoff race. There's now some separation between the 6 teams who are in and the next team that's out, which is the Cincinnati Reds, now 3 games behind the Padres. The Cardinals, who look like they want to be sellers, have fallen 4.5 out. And the Giants, who were supposed to be buyers and going for it after they traded for Rafael Devers, have fallen 5 games out and back to 500. You can't, if you fall below 500, you can't say you're a a playoff contender at the deadline, and if they lose today, they're going to be under 500 at the trade deadline. Do they consider all of a sudden at the last minute changing their mind and going, maybe we better retool for next year and build around Rafael Devers and going forward, because it's not happening for us this year?
It's a great question. It's a great question, and they're definitely one of those teams to watch, man. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that they've hit the skids a little bit. And, we talked all season about, hey, man, our division's going to be nasty. Well, the Diamondbacks are out of it. They're selling off pieces. The Giants seem to be out of it. But again, do you really think Buster Posey is sitting in his office in San Francisco going, let's cash it in, boys. Let's just get rid of this guy and let's get rid of this guy and let's sell. Maybe he is. I mean, maybe that's what a smart GM would do. Buster Posey, I'm not saying he's not a smart president of baseball ops there at all. I'm just saying that dude is a competitor. One of the biggest competitors out there. It's going to be hard for me to and I think for Giants fans too, to rationalize, hey, with the pitching that we have, I know it's not performing up to snuff right now. We could absolutely make a run in the second, post trade deadline.
But then in the American League, you can make an argument that every team other than the White Sox and the A's are still in it. I mean,
right?
The Baltimore Orioles are 50-58, but they just took 3-4 straight. They just walloped the Toronto Blue Jays, who were the best team in baseball a week ago. They're 7 out of a playoff spot. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, they are falling out of it. They're 3 games out of a playoff spot. And by the way, they're 4.5 out of the wild card lead, because the Yankees are only 9 games above 500. They're a game and a half up on the Red Sox and Mariners. The Rangers are only a game out. The Guardians are 3.5 out. The Angels and Royals are just 4 games out. It's hard to say which of these teams will decide that they want to sell, which might want to buy, which are going to just kind of stand pat here at the deadline, because the American League is so bunched up right now. You can't really identify the buyers and the sellers at all at this point.
Yeah, and it just shrinks. It shrinks what's available. It absolutely shrinks what's available out there. The pool in which you're picking from just gets very, a lot smaller. So I don't know, man. Like it's no shortage of information. And these guys are having to make some huge decisions. And then you gotta rationalize that to your fan base. And of course there's going to be those fans that go, yep, this is smart. I know we're 4 games out, but this team doesn't have it. And man, we've seen teams go on miraculous runs in the second half. They had 1 bat or 1 arm. And Mike Schultz Cardinals, would they win? Like
17
in a row. Like, come on, dude. This stuff happens. And, it's going to be split down the middle with most of these fan bases. Like, no, let's get smart if we're the Giants. Let's sell some pieces, retool, go after the Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks next year. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't get paid to make those decisions.
All right. Speaking of playoff contenders, the Rangers, we will catch up with Rangers employee and former Padres catcher Nick Hundley on a Big League Wednesday coming up at the bottom of the hour. First, though, we'll get to Don't Do This in our next segment. Never try to rip off a Las Vegas casino. They will find you
every time,
and they will get you every single time. That is coming up next. Don't go away. Ben and Woods returning after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, tell you about SDFatLoss.com. Their huge summer sale is going on right now. Take advantage of almost 20% off their already lower prices, and just start the program whenever you want. The secret to losing up to a pound of fat per day involves no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery with the SDFatLoss.com program. You can change your metabolism and keep the weight off for good, like I did. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. That was 2 summers ago. I have kept every pound off for the last 2 years. First program that has ever had the lasting effects that I've been looking for. And I've been trying to lose weight for like 25 years. It has finally worked for me. It can work for you as well. Set up a free consultation by going online to SDFatLoss.com. Your counselor will explain how the program will work. It involves real foods like steak, chicken, vegetables, things you like. They'll give you a list of different vegetables. I know, Tony Gwynn Jr. talks about the ones that he likes to eat when he does his spots. Matt Scraby, Chris Ello, so many tier 1s have gone through the program. You can as well, and start exactly when you want to. If you're going on a vacation next week, they can start right after, but set it up now by going to SDFatLoss.com. Get your free consultation at SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Humul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Humul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Let's get right into it. DDT brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. When you told your kids you were going to die yesterday, did you tell them you had already set up your Trust and Will at trustandwill.com at least?
Well, they listen to the program. I'm sure they're very aware of, you listen, anything that they get, it's hard to whack up a record collection, but that's pretty much what they got right now.
I'll get us started. We'll get right to it. Do not try to take money from a Las Vegas casino. They will get you every time. Former NBA player Marcus Morris, one of the Morris twins with Markieff Morris, has some legal woes stemming from allegations that he stole over $250,000 from two prominent Las Vegas casinos, according to TMZ. Now, this isn't a Ocean's 11 style heist. He apparently allegedly wrote bad checks to get markers like, hey, I'll write you a check for $115, give me the cash, and then I'll pay you back, sort of thing. Did not pay them back. So, of course, they get you, they find you. And he was in Florida when he was arrested, and he is awaiting behind bars in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida. He was at the airport, actually, when they caught up to him. His agent and his brother say, hey, this is a misunderstanding. Yeah, he had a marker out. He's going to pay it back, but he was not trying to defraud the casinos in any way. You owe them money. They are going to collect their money one way or another, Woods.
I am just trying to wrap my head around how bad it's gotten to where you have to go to your car and get your checkbook, which I don't even have. I do not own a checkbook. And if you asked me to write you a check, gun to my head, I'd be a dead man. I have no checkbook. So
okay, hang on. I just need to go to the bank. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Please don't I'll be right back.
These are temporary checks, but my new one, they'll be printed with my address, and they'll be here in like 3 weeks. Now it is, you're never going to get away with things like that. I will put, he's been on Don't Do This many, many times, Skip Bayless, and this tweet is still up, by the way, in reference to that horrific shooting that happened in New York, where 4 people died, including a police officer, and others were injured. Skip Bayless goes to Twitter, and it's still up there, which means he kind of meant to send it. He tweeted this 23 hours ago. Thank God the New York City shooter, apparently took the wrong bank of elevators and didn't make it to the NFL floors. He reportedly bizarrely blamed the NFL for what he believed to be his CTE suffered from playing high school football. Again, the first sentence, thank God that he took the wrong bank of elevators. Well, I don't think the families of those 4 people that passed away are thanking God right now that he, I don't understand his sentiment. Like 4 people died in this. There's no winner in this scenario, Skip. And yeah, it's still up, and he's getting a pretty good amount of grief. But when you have no self-awareness, like it doesn't matter. So
it's a weird. Obviously, the guy was not mentally well, whether it's
Correct.
CTE or other reasons. No one seems to know why he was targeting the NFL. It's not like he played in the NFL. The NFL
Correct.
doesn't. If you weren't in the NFL doesn't cause CTE. Now, maybe his high school playing days did. We may not ever know. Do you think, though, and I was speculating about this at work yesterday, was he like trying to find Roger Goodell? Was that like his? I wonder if that was his plan, or it's a crazy story.
Idea. It's crazy. But again, 4 people lost their lives. And, again, I don't think their families are like, whew, glad it was our guys and not those NFL executives. So Skip Bayless, kind of a tone-deaf tweet there.
All right. Usual. Finally, on a much, much lighter note, a little do this.
DD mega do-do.
Yeah, as we talked about, the MLB trade deadline comes with some stressful moments for baseball players as they wonder if they are about to have to pick up their lives. So a few of them can have fun with it, including Yohan Duran, closer for the Minnesota Twins, who was in the game yesterday and in the bullpen, and all of a sudden gets up and starts hugging a teammate, and they catch it on camera. So everyone thinks, as hug watch is a real thing. Like, hey, was he just informed that he has been traded and he's got to go to his locker and pack things up and head out? No, turns out it was maybe just having a little bit of fun with everybody. As Jeff Passan tweeted, Yohan Duran has not been traded. He was just hugging his bullpen catcher because that's what friends do sometimes.
That's right. I told you, Ben. Friends hug.
They do.
They absolutely do.
Now, there was a trade yesterday. Sir Anthony Dominguez went from the Orioles to the Blue Jays, which was interesting because they were playing a doubleheader. And Sir Anthony Dominguez got traded in the middle of the doubleheader, so went from one clubhouse to the other and then pitched against the team that he was on in the morning in the afternoon in the second game of the doubleheader, which is pretty crazy.
It is the weirdest. It's got to be the weirdest thing ever. Walking back, I was like, all right, I'm on your guys. I was just with these guys. We were playing cards this morning before the game, and now I'm pitching against them. Such is the nature of the beast. As a big
it's like your adult
player.
league baseball. We're short a pitcher. Can you loan us one for the day or something just so we can get through this game?
Crazy. Just crazy. So, that's your big move yesterday, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
And that is don't and do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
And it's a big league Wednesday. When we come back, Texas Rangers special assistant and former Padres catcher Nick Hundley is going to chat with us. Looking forward to that coming up after this on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. And by this, I mean you, Woods.
Thank you, my friend. Well, about to be talking to a former big league catcher who has probably been banged up in his career, the knees, the back. I mean, listen, you're feeling that way this morning. You got out of bed. You weren't a big league catcher, right? Your knees and back screaming at you. You can barely walk up the stairs. Listen, we all think, oh, it's probably just going to go away. I'll tough it out. Nothing changes, right? Time to call, schedule that free consultation with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Thousands of patients, including myself, who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned their lives around with QC Kinetics, regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, long-term relief, and no dreaded recovery time. Listen, go in, get the free consultation. At the very least, you learn something new. The best case, you get your life back. You start doing the things that you love to do. Swimming, surfing, biking, running, baseball, golf, all of it. That's what life's all about, doing things that give you pleasure. Grab the phone right now. Give them a call today. Locations in Hillcrest and Torrey Hills. 619-614-PAIN. 619-614-PAIN. They are QC Kinetics, and they are fantastic. 619-614-PAIN.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got to say, Paula, you are killing it. We have, had a different Big League Wednesday guest pretty much every Wednesday throughout this entire baseball season. And today's, I may be looking more forward to than any, because standing by and joining us right after our check of traffic, former Padres catcher and now special assistant to Texas Rangers general manager Chris Young, Nick Hundley, is going to be with us. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Guys, a couple of problems in the North County. One is this crash involving a car and a motorcycle westbound 76 at Mission Road, not showing if lanes are blocked. And apparently a suspicious package was found at one of the gates at Camp Pendleton, so gates are blocked under the base at this time. And you can find some traffic control in place, both north and southbound 5 at the Harbor Drive and Vandergrift exits. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We've talked a lot this week about being a big league catcher, even though none of us really has any idea what it means to be a big league catcher. So we thought, why don't we get someone who does know what it means to be a big league catcher on? And joining us right now is former Padre Nick Hundley, now with the Texas Rangers. Nick, it is always great to have you back on here in San Diego. Good morning.
Morning, guys. What's going on? Good to talk with you.
None of us were big league catchers, Nick. You've seen us all. I mean, we all have the build and, the mental fortitude to get back behind the dish and catch 96-mile-an-hour sliders these days, right? Like, what a gig that is behind the dish at a big league game, my friend.
Well, that's why I wanted to draft you first overall. Catching is the most important position. So in the fantasy league, I needed you on my team, but I didn't have the first pick, so it didn't work.
That's fair. It's fair enough. We have been, the Padres catching core, much maligned this year, by the fan base, have come up pretty big lately, honestly. And Mike Schilt really loves these guys, and that relationship between a manager and his catcher, it feels different with certain managers maybe than others, and maybe all of them to a man. Like the catcher, the manager, and the pitching staff, it's just such an important relationship.
Yeah, it really is. I think as a catcher, you're dealing with the staff more than any other player on the team. You're dealing with the hitting coaches, you're working with the manager, you're working with your catching coach, you're working with the bullpen coach, and you're working with the pitching coach. So if there's a coach that is in the dugout or on staff, like, you're connecting with them on a daily basis. So you are 100% an extension of that staff just on field. So to watch the relationship between a catcher and a manager is really important. And when a manager writes your name in the lineup, they have to trust that you're going to go out and you're going to function and you're going to run the plan and you're going to be able to do it and make adjustments on the fly. So for a manager to write a catcher's name in consistently is really, really important.
Obviously, one of the biggest roles of a catcher historically, calling a game, reading the hitters, knowing his pitcher, calling the right pitches. But how much has that changed in the era of PitchCom, where we now, Nick, see pitchers with a little button on their belt calling their own games, especially veterans? How much has that changed for catchers, do you think?
Yeah, I don't not a whole lot. When I came up, we had a really veteran staff with Chris Young and Jake Peavy and Randy Wolf and Greg Maddox, and a lot of those guys would call their own games. Like Randy Wolf, when I would throw the ball back to him, would call every single pitch just by the body movements. So little things he would do each pitch. So it's easier to call it from the mound now with PitchCom, but veteran guys have been calling their games for a while.
Talking to former Padre catcher Nick Hundley, now special assistant for the Texas Rangers. We got a lot of friends over there, man. Skip Schumacher, Brett Boone, Nick Hundley. So what's the plan for you right now as a special assistant? Trade deadline is looming for everyone. You got, Texas in it, playing well, hitting the baseball, like doing the little things to win ball games right now. What's the plan? You don't have to give me your full plan unless you want to, Nick, here on the radio. But what's it like for you the next 48 hours or so?
Yeah, well, we're meeting daily, pretty much from the middle of the day on. We're actually in Anaheim now, so playing the Angels. But working through options. The guys have played really well this last 6 weeks. It was a slow start to the season. But we feel like we've put a really good team together, and they're starting to play like it. So they've worked their way back into the mix, So having a bunch of conversations with teams, and there's not a whole lot that's happened yet, but I think these next 2 days are going to be pretty wild. So that's the exciting part. You get the draft in July of this job, in the front office. You get the draft in July and trade deadline at the end of the month here, and you really get an opportunity to improve the team in a lot of different ways. So from the minor league system to the big league team, and our guys are locked in. So it's been a fun couple weeks.
Talking to Nick Hundley on a Big League Wednesday, and speaking of that Rangers-Angels game last night, friend Kyle Higashioka belted a couple of home runs, and Nick, he's kind of, for Padres fans, the one that got away this offseason. A.J. Preller made an offer. Texas Rangers made a better offer. He moved on to Texas, took advantage of the big season he had last year. I know Padres fans are saying, is there any way we could get him back? I'll just ask you, though, what are your thoughts on Kyle Higashioka and how he's done in Texas this year, and just how much you've had a chance to interact with him?
Higgy's been awesome. Like, firsthand the type of person he is. And then obviously comes in and has the opportunity, the threat to homer at any point, which is huge. But the thing that makes him the most special is his interaction with teammates, just like you talked about at the beginning. I talked to him a couple of days ago and how him and the catcher Jonah Heim interact, and we have given up the least amount of runs in the league this year. And a lot of that's on the pitching staff, but a lot of that's on the catching staff too. Those guys are getting our guys in really good positions to be successul. The way they call games, the way they care. I really feel like I talk to our minor league catchers about this all the time. Like, if you are done with a game and you are more physically tired than you are mentally tired, you didn't do a good job. Like, you should be drained mentally trying to get these hitters out and trying to help your pitchers and put them in a good spot to be successful. And that's how Higgy is. Like, he's so locked in mentally to the game that what he's going to call and what he's going to do is going to be well thought out. It's going to be well prepared, and he puts our guys in a great spot. So yeah, you guys nailed it on the person and the player. We're really excited he's here.
Such a good guitar player too, Nick. Talking to Nick Hundley here, special assistant of the Texas Rangers on a Big League Wednesday on Ben and Woods, and we were making a lot of. If a catcher just so happens to be traded to the San Diego Padres, now obviously a guy that's been here and knows a lot of the pitching staff, yeah, that'd be a great move for us. But if they went outside the organization and brought somebody in, here we are in essentially August. This guy's going to have to come in. He's going to have to learn this. He's going to have to learn the personalities. How difficult is that? Now, you've been traded early in the season. You've been traded before, but it was a little bit earlier than the trade deadline. How hard is it to get up to speed? I would imagine it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose, a whole new staff, a whole new set of signs, a whole new approach, the way you do things. How difficult is it for a catcher?
Yeah. I think, I got traded in 2014 to Baltimore. So I took the red eye Saturday night, played Sunday morning. Then we went to Milwaukee that night and played I think it was Memorial Day game, like 1:00 game. So played like 2 games within a 24-hour period, it was wild for sure. And not knowing anything about a team in the AL East across the country. And so, but being able to have been in the league for, I think, 6-7 years at that point really helped. So I think it probably took 10 days to 2 weeks to really get up to speed on, hey, I feel actually comfortable knowing these guys and their names and going out there and connecting and being able to call pitches that they wanted me to call. So I think if for a young catcher, it might be a little different, but for a veteran guy that comes in, I don't think it's as big a deal after the first week, or around that spot. So if there's an opportunity to improve and make your team better, I wouldn't shy away from trading for a catcher.
Meanwhile, there's players also obviously who won't get traded, but they're probably looking around and wondering, is our team going to be a buyer or a seller? I know the Rangers have kind of been, I mean, right on the borderline, but just a game out of a playoff spot right now, knowing how competitive Chris Young is and Boch and everything. It feels like you guys probably feel like you're right in this thing at this moment. Is that kind of the sentiment right now?
Yeah, I think that with the expanded playoffs, it gives a lot of teams hope. So, which also increases the market for the sellers, and there's more demand, or there's more opportunity to sell higher on players. So, yeah, we're right in the mix. We're excited about our team, just like you guys should be in San Diego. I mean, watching the Padres playing hard, and in a great spot. So, yeah, for sure, the next 2 days for the Padres and Rangers are going to be pretty interesting.
Never a dull moment here in San Diego, Nick. Always, in the next move and always rumored to be in the next big move. How crazy do you expect this deadline to be? Because we were talking earlier about it's typically slow, the couple days leading up, and then a big flurry of moves. How active do you think teams are going to be?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I'm not an expert in this subject, but I think it's going to be a little bit slower, just based on it's good for the game for me, because more teams are trying to win it all than last couple of years or the last 10 years, I feel like. So there are more teams that are in there, more teams are going for it. There are more teams bunched up. So there's not as much supply, for lack of a better word. So it's going to get to the point where I feel like some team has to overpay for some guys, and at that spot, teams will move. But I don't think it's going to be as active, but I could be totally wrong.
I've got just one more thing, Nick, and it's because I've been thinking about it since you said it early in the interview. And it's how Randy Wolf, you said, used to call his own game simply by body language. And I think about how intense teams try to steal signs nowadays and, looking for anything like that. How did he keep that from not getting picked up from other teams? What did he do to let you know what he wanted to throw next without the other team catching on to it?
Yeah, well, there wasn't these edge cameras behind home plate and high speed cameras just checking every move and Kinetrex data and all that stuff. So you can have a little bit more privacy out there. But yeah, little things like if I threw it back and his mouth was a little bit open, it'd mean something. Or if he would turn with the step with the right foot first as he turned, or step with the left foot first. Just little things with your nose. It's got to be locked in. I would have a hard time picking it up sometimes, and I know it was coming. So it was probably pretty tough for the teams. And then obviously if we're playing a team that he knows or had catcher had caught with him before, he'd switch it up. There's different ways to do it. So always switching it up. But that's the best thing now about PitchCom is, as a catcher, you don't have to worry about switching your signs up every inning or every half inning, or working through all this stuff. It's such took a toll mentally towards the end when you knew so many teams had cameras on you, and you really had to work to go. And then you'd have young guys come up and kind of look at you like, hey, is that what you called? And you're looking out there like, hey, you're throwing 100. I would really like for you to know what sign I put down. And they come set, and you're like, gosh, I hope he knows not to throw a fastball right here. I hope he knows that I called a slider. And then you get a fastball at 99. You're like, oh, hopefully you don't get hit in the face. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the PitchCom.
That is fascinating.
It's fascinating. Greg Maddux used to do the same type of stuff, and I just listen. If it's me and I'm the catcher, and Randy Wolf's like, "All right, if I step with my right foot, it's a fastball," I would say, "Buddy, I'm going to throw a 1 down for a fastball. Let's go second sign with a runner on second. Let's not make this really complicated gig harder than it has to be. I can't be watching your feet and your mouth being open. It would make me insane." Did you ever want to strangle these guys a little bit?
Well, I wanted to play in San Diego and not El Paso, so
that's fair. Okay, yeah, whatever they need.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. When you're a rookie and you got guys with 10, 15 years in the league, wanted to make sure that you were on the same page with them. There was times where man, I gotta grind, but at the same time, this is more of a servant position than anything as a catcher. So you can tell him that, but you got to go catch in El Paso tomorrow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nick, we really appreciate it. I know you got a meeting coming up, probably discussing whatever AJ Preller is calling Chris Young about in the next few minutes. So we really want to thank you for your time. It's always great catching up with you.
Hey, I'll pop out for you guys anytime, man.
Thank you.
Thanks
Nick
so
Hundley
much,
on a
Nick.
Big League Wednesday. What a great guest. Always fun chatting with Nick Hundley. You'd realize it in your mind, but then when he said, and then you play a team that has a catcher who was on your team last year, so he knows everything that you do, so you have to change everything for that day because, well, he's going to know exactly what we're doing because he just talked to Randy Wolf 3 months ago. It's the levels of detail that they have to go through, as he said, mentally exhausting every single day. Just to have that small edge over the other team that you need when you're playing at such a high level, Woods.
I just can't even imagine it. And I always go back to the story of Tim Flannery talking about, the complicated signs, and everyone thought they had his signs. And sometimes he would just walk towards a guy if he wanted him to do something. And if he walked away from him, that meant something else. That's how, it gets really crazy and it gets nuts, and they'd have all these different sequences. Sometimes it was, if I walk towards you, bunt. If I walk away from you, hit and run, whatever it may be. It is truly amazing to hear Randy Wolf would open his mouth a little bit if he wanted to throw a slider. I have to watch your mouth through my mask back here, sweating, catching, blocking. And then I got to go hit. I mean, it would make me insane. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds awesome, man. It's crazy.
Not surprised that he was a big fan of PitchCom being developed.
100%.
Let's just push a button. That's a lot easier than looking
Randy,
for
we're going to use this thing from now on.
Subtle hand signals and mouth open gestures. All right, we're going to come back. We still have 2 hours to go. There actually was some chaos at Snapdragon Stadium last night. Haven't gotten into that yet. More baseball talk on the way as well. Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. Yeah, just kind of anxiously awaiting the trade deadline, see if the San Diego Padres can improve. Winners of 4 straight, pretty epic performances from the guys. And, it's been an interesting vacation. I use that term loosely since we started. But if you missed the Open, go back and listen. It was pretty entertaining stuff. Lots more to get to about this crazy, crazy evacuation that we had last night here on the island of Kauai.
Wait, you don't consider fleeing from a natural disaster a vacation? Come on.
No, not even a little. And also having to get up and do a show, I have like 2 hours of sleep and anxiety-ridden sleep. And I did, my wife, I think she got a little bit. She was like, look, don't worry about the show. Like, and I go, yeah, you're right. Ultimately, like, we're safe and that's the most important thing. But, it's important to me and you guys are important to me. And I don't think either of you would have had a problem if I was like, hey, bro, it was obviously an insane day. I'm not going to work. But, I just felt like I can't call in tired. You just can't do it because I work with Ben Higgins. Like, if that were the case, he'd work 3 days a year. So
tired for the 700th straight day.
Yeah. I got up this morning and I jumped in the shower, which was clutch. I had the coffee, I had a bagel, and I had 2 cups of coffee. I'm hitting the wall a little bit, but listen, the rest of my day is going to be watching the Padres. I'm going back, I'm sure, down to Hundley Bay. So don't feel too bad for me. Everybody's safe and happy.
Any idea how your you said your 14-year-old nephew, any idea how he slept last night?
Probably pretty good, man. That was one of the wildest things I've seen. We went to get some shave ice yesterday as a family. My brother's here with his wife and their 2 kids. My oldest nephew is Oliver. He's going to be 14 in a couple of weeks, and Owen is 10, and my son Bo and Taylor 7 and 4, and they love each other so much. The cousins just gravitate toward each other, and that's really special for us. And we all get along really well. And we went down to get some shave ice, and we're sitting at the table eating it. And I looked over and I go, "Hey, these 2 girls are checking you out, Oliver." And he's a football player. He's tall, handsome. Now he does have the broccoli cut, and I busted his balls constantly.
They all do.
The broccoli cut. My brother said he recently went to camp, and they weren't allowed to take their phones, but the camp would send out pictures of all the kids, and you had to go in and find your kid. Oh, there he is. They said you couldn't pick out your child. You couldn't find him in a lineup of 35 other kids that all had the broccoli cut. So I was busting his balls about that, but these girls are looking over. And they are looking and looking. And I go, hey, they are looking at you. I go, go get her number. He's like, no. My brother's like, yes, go get her number, man. Like, you have to learn. And I said to him, I go, look, you're on your phone constantly. I go, you have to learn how to interact with people, especially of the opposite sex, right? Like, you have to do it. That's not on a, you're not texting and hey, what are you doing? You're on an app, whatever. Like, go up, introduce yourself, and get her phone number. Sure enough, man, if we're not sitting there, they keep looking. They get up and leave, and Oliver goes, fine. He walks over. I watch him, blah, 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 spitting his game, comes back. He goes, I got it. And he was texting with her all day. She came down to the beach to hang out with him and was like, actually, she's a local, was actually giving us really good advice about, what to do in this emergency, in this emergency that we went through yesterday. So, pretty incredible stuff to watch in real time. A young player out on the field. I loved it.
Now that's kind of the ultimate team vacation dream. You go on vacation to Hawaii, you meet a local while you're there. I mean, when the tsunami warning hit, did he the old, hey, this could be our final night on Earth? And
like a plot for like every movie ever made where a family goes on vacation. Like the teenage boy is always trying to pull a number.
It was incredible. And, my brother and I, when we were younger, we both have done pretty well for ourselves in that regard. And so, it was like really cool to see. And I got no business being with the woman that married me, none whatsoever. And if I didn't have a little bit of game, I wouldn't be with her. There's no question. So, and it was really, really cool to see. And again, mostly because that generation, I mean, I'm on my phone all the time. I'm a 50-year-old man. I don't have much time left. They are glued. He is glued to his phone. And I'm like, you've got to learn how to talk to people. I know how to do both. I can be on my phone and I know how to talk to people. So to watch him do it, walk up, introduce himself, get the digits, it was so cool to see.
All right, this is not exactly going to shock you, but I was never Rico Suave back in the day and was not really comfortable approaching, ladies and girls trying to get phone numbers and the such.
Ladies.
So
Ladies.
I really didn't.
14.
I really did not. I didn't do the singles like buy someone a drink at a bar thing. I never really did. Woods, I know that you obviously did that, but how did you deal with the rejections? Like, because that would be the hardest part. That's what you're afraid of when you're a guy and you go up and say, hey, can I buy you a drink? Can I get your number? And they like laugh or say no or what. That always was intimidating to me.
And I got rejected plenty. You just let it roll off your back and kind of on to the next one. Wasn't meant to be. Never feels good to be rejected, but it certainly set me up for success in a career of sales and recruiting and then radio. Plenty of rejection in radio, certainly. So I think it helped me along the way. And, it's like one of the best lessons I ever learned is, man, you got to ask for the order. You have to ask for it. If you're in sales, you got to ask for the order. You have to. And I was turned down more times than not. It's kind of like baseball, man. 7 times you fail. You got to learn how to deal with that failure. And so I'm glad I learned it at an early age. And that's pretty much how I learned, was by approaching women. And, my brother and I were talking about it, some of our family vacations when we were younger, meeting girls when you're on vacation. There was nothing better than that. And I was so happy for him to see him go up and actually, do it. It was wild to see. I was brimming with pride.
Well, I hope you get to actually enjoy some vacation at some point here in the next few days and things calm down a little bit and you can get a little sleep and catch up, because that is really what you do deserve when you go on vacation with your family. We're back here. Obviously, we're still in work mode. We appreciate, though, that you are with us, Woods. Tier 1's appreciated. And yes, I did ask Woods if he saved the equipment from the potential tsunami just in case. I had pictures of like the equipment sitting in a flooded room somewhere and being completely useless for the rest of his trip, and wouldn't see him again until late next week. So yes, I did ask him if he took the equipment with him while he evacuated.
And it's funny because my brother was like, let's just go to my hotel. Now we're in a house. They have one room. And I go, Brent, I'm not. He goes, just pack up the equipment. And it took me so long to get this equipment perfect. Paulie and I had to go through it. I was like,
please don't do that.
Oh, dude. I mean, the thought of packing this equipment up, being somewhere else other than here, broadcasting the show this morning, honestly made me sick. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you guys another quick part of last night is when we were sitting there on higher ground waiting. My mother-in-law's friend that lives here had us over to her house, and she was actually going to let us stay there should we need it. But she took us in, a very nice lady named Susie. She's a realtor here on Kauai. She knows everybody, and I mean everybody. She just sold Steven Still's property here. She worked with Jack Black. She sold Mike White his house here. Like, she knows everyone. She brought us in, took care of my children like they were her own, made teriyaki chicken for them, gave them string cheese, gave them ice cream, let them lay around on the couch, play with her dogs. It was 2 hours of a respite in a really, really crazy, crazy day. So that meant so much to me. Her kindness, I went, man, you don't know us at all. And you were so, so kind. And it was really, really cool. Really, really cool moment.
Have a trade in Major League Baseball. It is not involving the San Diego Padres, but Jeff Passan just tweeting the New York Yankees have acquired outfielder Austin Slater in a trade with the Chicago White Sox.
Oh.
And I saw that, I was like, oh, here we go. And then I'm like,
it was
all
kind
right,
of
still-
Okay.
a whole
still a
hummer.
very medium-sized domino to fall.
Very small to medium-sized
Yeah.
domino to fall.
I really thought last week when Naylor got traded to the Mariners, I was like, here we go. Here
The
we
floodgates.
go. And, just waiting.
Guys, before we get to the rest of the show, we still have Take on Woods coming up. We still need to pay off the Incorporator with Jesse yesterday. Have the Reindl Report coming up. Have not talked about SDFC. Wanted to give it a couple of minutes here at least as they played last night at Snapdragon Stadium. You were excused, Woods, if you didn't get a chance to watch the game. It was on FS1, so you didn't even need to have the whole Apple TV thing to watch last night's Leagues Cup opener against FC Pachuca. But I kind of had it on when the Padres game ended just to see what was going on, and kind of a wild ride last night for Mikey Varas' team. They were taking on, for the first time, a Liga MX team. A good one, by the way. They had just started like 3-0 to start the season. This was actually Chucky Lozano's team when he was growing up. Like, this was his favorite club and probably the one that he always dreamed of playing against in Mexico City. So kind of significant. And early on, it looked like an SDFC game. They were controlling the ball, getting some good shots, just near misses, some saves, off the crossbar sort of things. And it looked like it was just a matter of time before they would eventually break through and take the lead. But as so often happens in soccer, Pachuca got a goal in the first half against the run of play. It kind of bounced off the face of the guy who was like streaking and just passed the goalkeeper for 1-0. And then they added a second one right before halftime. So SDFC was down 2-0, always a bad spot to be in. Then it was 3-0 in the second half, and it looked like it was over. And then all of a sudden, like in the 88th minute and in stoppage time, SDFC scores 2 goals quickly to get back to 3-2. Now everyone's like frantic. Hey, we have a chance to tie this one, maybe pull it out because, they go to penalty kicks in this tournament if you can get one more goal. So they're playing really intense. And Anders Dreyer ends up getting like locked up with one of the other guy's players, and they're kind of, doing that running next to each other. And Dreyer kind of gets tripped, and then he sticks his leg out and trips the other guy. And it was right in front of the referee. And the referee, the woman who was calling the match, just immediately pulled out the red card, not kicking him out of the game and presumably suspended from Friday's game as well. The best player gets knocked out now for SDFC. So that was kind of like a devastating blow. And then she blew the whistle and the game was over and they lost 3-2. So kind of a wild but somewhat disappointing night last night for SDFC at Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw the score last night and I couldn't even really I couldn't watch the audio for the pods kept cutting in and out. The video kept cutting in and out. Apparently people were really involved on their phones on the island of Kauai yesterday. So service was spotty at best. But yeah, so this tournament does it mean something? I mean, I know it means something.
Like
but
Darren told us, I mean, it doesn't count in the like MLS standings. It's its own. It's like its own tournament, and you'll crown a champion at the end of August.
It's the opportunity for certain teams to win something,
right? But they're pool play, so they play 3 matches. They need to do well if they want to advance. Now they've already lost their first one, but there is goal differential as one of the tiebreakers. So the fact they scored 2 could help them if they win the next 2 matches and maybe still advance on, but. Obviously, it's a setback to get started. The other thing, so after Anders Dreyer got kicked out, and I'm not even sure what happened, like one of the assistant coaches for the other team started getting into some sort of scrap with someone, and he got a red card and got like escorted off the field. So things got really chippy and wild and kind of intense at the end of the match last night. And there were fans for both teams at Snapdragon Stadium with some of the Pachuca fans were up as well. So kind of an interesting matchup, and we'll see. They play again on Friday night at 8 p.m. against Tigres in the second group game of the tournament, which now is pretty much like must win if they want to kind of advance, because if you lose 2, you'd probably be aced out in any sort of standings to advance. So we'll see what happens going forward for SDFC.
Now, I know we're up against the clock here, Benjamin. But I need to know, you have to tell everybody what you're doing today. Now, again, a rough night, 2 hours of sleep. I'm on fumes, no question, but I'm going to the beach and I will be able to sit on my ass on the beach and relax. You won't be.
No, what I'd like to do is go maybe take a 2 or 3 hour nap after the show. But what I'm actually going to do is go down to the store, buy some ingredients, and then I'm going to 7 Mile, our beloved 7 Mile, and Sammy's for the second straight year, taking part in their charity Build a Messy Sunday contest. Now, last year I was involved, and I came up second.
What did you go with last year?
I did kind of an Oreo kind of sundae with crushed Oreo cookies, and I think like caramel and different things, whipped cream.
Do you remember what won?
It was like berries. It was mixed, like a mixed berry sundae that ended up winning. But it's for charity, and I'm playing for Emo Brown Foundation, and our friend Caesar's going to be there with me again.
Nice.
And if you win, you can win like $2,500 for your charity, and they put the sundae on the menu at Sammy's. So if I do win, you may get a chance to taste my creation at some point. But there's
taste your creation.
I would taste your creation anyway.
There's like 7 or 8 other people who are competing as well. So I'll do that.
Now, hold on. You just said that you weren't great at pickup lines. That may be one of the best pickup lines I've ever heard in my.
Would you like to taste my creation?
Yeah, in my entire life. And somebody out there needs to write that down, put it in your phone. I think you sell yourself short, buddy. Now, how much thought have you put into this?
I put a lot of thought into it, but I keep changing my mind at the last minute. I've kind of gone through a couple of iterations of what I want to do, and I'm still kind of,
if you don't want to tell us, what direction
toying in the last minute.
Are you going fruit or are you going chocolatey?
So right now, my main ingredient is my secret ingredient is going to be Nilla wafers, and then strawberries is kind of what I would go through together. But we'll see. I could change that still.
All right. I mean, the banana pudding is a big.
I saw that. It's not a bad idea.
Buddy.
Like a Nilla wafer banana sundae with caramel. That's actually not a bad call.
Well, I can't wait to taste your creation.
I don't want to give it away though, because I don't want anyone to steal my idea. So I'm going to keep thinking about it, and I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow.
Good luck.
Then, of course, I'm anchoring again tonight in at Channel 10. So have another long day ahead. And then, of course, tomorrow, nice easy day with our 4-hour show, and then the round table, and then the trade deadline, and then anchoring at Channel 10 again. I'm going to be dead by the time we get to Friday, honestly. I'm going to be dead by Friday.
Man, I'm going to miss you guys on the round table tomorrow so much.
I've already got
You have the equipment. I don't know why you can't do the round table too, but fine, whatever.
Wow. It's more of an in-person thing.
All right. We need a contestant.
We can make it work if you'd like.
You can do Take on Woods remotely, and we will play our game next, our musical trivia challenge. If you want to be our contestant, call now, 833-288-0973. We can qualify you for a trip to Las Vegas and Motley Crue tickets, but you got to take on Woods in our next segment, 833-288-0973. It's coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you about Trust and Will. Again, you never know what life is going to throw at you when a natural disaster may unexpectedly hit. And if you are not prepared, if you don't have your documents in order, you could leave your family in a really bad situation, Woods.
Yeah, I mean, having that peace of mind, knowing that it's all done and my family knows exactly what is going to happen. Yeah, it certainly gives you a little bit of peace of mind, as I mentioned, and they make it so easy. It takes 25, 30 minutes to go in, fill everything out, and go to trustandwill.com. When you check out, use the code FAN, F-A-N, at checkout. They'll give you 20% off, which is that's not small potatoes, Benjamin.
It doesn't really matter what age you are. I mean, we waited in way too long until we were 49 to do this. You should probably, if you have a family especially, just get it done, even if you're in your 30s. You just want to have those documents and the peace of mind, you don't have to worry about it. It's affordable. There's no lawyer's office, billable hours, anything like that. Just go through the simple process, answer the questions, set up your will, set up your trust, avoid probate court, and take care of your family in the future by going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres right now in pretty good position. I think Fangraphs has them up to 60% for their odds to make the playoffs. It was like at 50 4 days ago when they started the winning streak.
Yeah.
So that's
quite
the turnaround. Now it also tells you how quickly things can change, and we'll go through the standings, some of the other results in baseball coming up here at the bottom of the hour. First, though, it is time to play our game here on a Wednesday. Let's take on Woods. Take on Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. And Woods, say hello to our contestant today. This is Wilkie. You know Wilkie, don't you?
Well, Woods actually can't say anything because
he's already off.
He's got his headphones off. He cannot
Wilkie,
hear us.
Pete, it is good to have you on. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
I'm good. Are you ready to try to play this game today?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
All right. And how do you know Woods?
We're on the Tier 1 baseball team together.
Wow, that's quite the coincidence. But hey, look, you're right there. You got called in, and you made it through today. So congratulations. You'll be playing to try to qualify for our grand prize drawing. It is a 2-night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Motley Crue on September 19th, and a $100 gas card. You can catch Motley Crue's Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM, September 12th through October 3rd. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. All right, you know how the game works. You get to pick the category for our 5 questions of musical trivia, and here are your choices. Mothers and Fathers, still there. 5 song titles that include either mother or father. Not on Any Map, 5 song titles with fictional places in their name. And our new category today, The Eyes Have It. 5 bands that all begin with the letter I. So, Mothers and Fathers, Not on Any Map, or The Eyes Have It. Wilkie, what'll it be?
We'll go Mothers and Fathers.
All right, we're going to go with Mothers and Fathers. So again, every song title includes either mother or father in the title. You'll have 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, you can say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie will play you a little music. He's queuing it up now. You need to give me the song title and the artist to score that point. Wilkie, are you ready to play?
Yep. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. Category again is mothers and fathers. Wilkie, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Father figure, George Michael.
Correct. Which 1966 Rolling Stones song about housewives using Valium begins with the line, "What a drag it is getting old"? Correct. Lead singer Art Alexakis sings about his dad walking out on the family in which 1998 song by Everclear?
Father of Mine.
Correct. One of the earliest hits for Cat Stevens was which 1970 song about a parent's heartbreaking conversation with a child who wants to break away?
Father and Son.
Correct. ABBA's Bjorn Ulvaeus sings about turning away an amorous underage fan in which 1979 single? Last one.
Your mother should know.
What was that again?
Your mother should know.
Close, but not quite. It's Does Your Mother Know? Kind of creepy sounding, but you did get 4 in a tough category. You got Father Figure by George Michael, Mother's Little Helper by Rolling Stones, Father of Mine by Everclear, and Father and Son by Cat Stevens. Is it enough? We will find out. Text Woods.
Just text him. He should
All right, he's putting his headset back on.
Okay.
All right, Woods. We got Wilkie from the Tier 1 baseball team.
My beloved Wilkie.
His score is in.
Okay.
It is now up to you. You'll have the same 5 questions in the same 60 seconds without getting the category. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Wilkie.
Father Figure by George Michael.
Correct. Which 1966 Rolling Stones song about housewives using Valium begins with the line, "What a drag it is getting old"?
Mother's Little Helper.
Correct. Lead singer Art Alexakis sings about his dad walking out on the family.
Father of Mine.
Correct. One of the earliest hits for Cat Stevens was which 1970 song about a parent's heartbreaking conversation with a child who wants to break away?
Cats in the Cradle?
Incorrect. ABBA's Bjorn
no.
Ulvaeus sings about turning away an amorous underage fan in which 1979 single?
Who is it?
ABBA's Bjorn Ulvaeus sings about turning away an amorous underage fan in which 1979 single?
I have no idea, and I don't even have the energy to guess.
All
so
right,
I'm out
well, that
with
means Wilkie
3.
then, with a 4-3 score, has won it today. Congratulations, Wilkie.
Well done, Wilkie.
You are in. Say hello to Woods.
Hey, Woodsy.
Hey, buddy. Nice job,
He
pal.
he almost got that one. That was Does Your Mother Know by ABBA. But the one you
Okay.
missed that was the difference was Cat Stevens' Father and Son.
Father
Category
and
was
Son.
mothers and fathers today. So
Who did Cats in the Cradle? He didn't do that, did he?
Cats in
Harry Chapin.
Harry, yeah.
Harry Chapin. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yep. Oh, well.
Plus, that
if
that wouldn't have fit in the category anyway.
No,
so.
I know. But if I'm going to lose, it's good to lose to Wilkie. Wilkie's my beloved. My beloved. Congratulations, pal.
Hey, bud, have a great trip, okay?
Thanks, pal. I will.
Hang on the line, Wilkie.
All right, we will get Wilkie's info for the drawing for Las Vegas. We will come back and take a look at the rest of the action in Major League Baseball as the Padres have started to build a little bit of a wild card lead over the last couple of days. Can they now hold on to it as we head into the final 2 months of the season? It's all coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, quickly, Benjamin, let me tell all the fine folks out there listening about Loan Pronto. If you're maxed out on credit cards, and many of you are, I get it, struggling with high interest debt, pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. You can get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. That Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is pretty incredible. You can, one client got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off debt, did their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. They got instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That equity is yours, my friends. Use it. Get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call them now to get a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you could get out today. They got incredible reviews on Google, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. The conversation can be started now by calling 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Get debt relief now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
perusing Kevin Acey's really good newsletter that he sends out every morning, his Padres Daily, and some good quotes from Jackson Merrill talking about the triple, the RBI go-ahead triple he had last night that gave the Padres a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning. And Jackson said, no one deserves it more than I do. and
this is Jackson Merrill.
The
it's so true.
The reason he said that is, and I didn't know this stat, but Kevin always comes up with some pretty good stats. So nobody in Major League Baseball is essentially getting worse luck on barreled balls than Jackson Merrill. On balls that he barrels, he's hitting 382, which sounds, 382, that's good. That's not good. In Major League Baseball, the average on balls that are barreled is 556.
Wow.
So he's hitting 174 points below the Major League average on balls that are barreled, which, once it leaves the bat, you can't control where it goes, which means he has hit tons of scorching liners that have been caught in the infield or tracked down by some outfielder who makes a remarkable catch. And, we all have seen it over the last few months. Jackson has been pretty unlucky, but the numbers do indicate that is very true. So he said, and now I get an RBI triple on a ball that I basically just hit a chopper to the first baseman, and thanks to a great hop and the outfield playing way shifted over, I get an RBI triple out of it. And that, of course, was completely lucky. But he says, hey, no one deserves it more than I do.
Yeah, man. Truly, that's a staggering stat. 170 points
174 points below the league average on barreled balls.
It is like that's just staggering. And it's one of those things where it's so hard to do. It's like, hey, don't change a thing. We got a guy like that on our tier 1 team. He barrels every ball. He hits it right at guys. And you get frustrated. And you're like, bro, don't change a thing. Keep doing that. And the luck will eventually turn around. And hopefully that's the case for Jackson, because he's right. We've seen him get robbed, seemingly dozens of times this year on balls that he scorched. So just keep it up. Keep doing it. Do it, 4 times today and let the chips fall where they may.
Quietly, he's now riding a season-best 9-game hitting streak, hitting just under 300 during that streak. The previous 19 games, he was hitting 132. You remember the struggles he had gone through. Luis Arraez, he upped his hitting streak to 12. That's just 2 off his career high, I believe, with a 1-for-2, 2 runs scored, and a walk last night. The one streak that ended, Manny Machado's streak of 6 consecutive multi-hit games ended as he only went 1-for-4, but he definitely made the one count. His 20th home run of the season. He is exactly on pace for how many home runs does anyone want to guess?
30.
30. The back of the baseball card, as Manny told us, never lies. And, he said it back in May when he had 3 homers. He goes, yeah, I'll get there at the end of the year. I always do. And now, of course, he is well on pace to getting to where he always does. He's also leading the National League. And I didn't realize this until yesterday. We didn't talk about it, Woods. He's the batting leader in the National League. 301, which is, in Tony Gwynn's day, 301 wouldn't even get you in the top 10 usually. You wouldn't make the newspaper list of the top 10 batters in the National League. But nowadays, 301 is that's the top hitter in the National League. So a batting title is certainly within the realm of possibility. One of the closest contenders is Arraez, who's up to 293. His quest for a 4th batting title is very much alive, especially how hot he is. So I know that's individual stuff, but I just kind of wanted to point that out, that those guys are certainly picking things up as the summer gets a little warmer here.
Yeah, and hitting that 20th bomb, that will be 10 straight 20-homer seasons for Manny Machado. AJ Cassavell tweeted last night, the first to accomplish that feat since Nelson Cruz. Did so 2011 through 21, and only Paul Goldschmidt currently has 9. The model of consistency is Manny Machado in baseball. And again, not appreciated enough in my eyes.
All right, let's check traffic. When we come back, we'll take a little trip around the rest of Major League Baseball. What else was going on last night in the big leagues? Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple of problems here, guys. Watch out for large green trash bin in middle lanes, West 54 before Briarwood Road. 2-car collision, eastbound 78, Melrose off-ramp. It's over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
As we talked about on Monday, who to cheer for between the Dodgers and the Reds this week? Well, the Dodgers got their second in a row as Nick Lodolo outdueled Tyler Glasnow, but the Dodgers rallied to tie the game in the seventh inning and then go ahead and win it in the ninth on a Will Smith RBI double. 5-4 the score, so the Padres remained 4 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West, but increased their wild card lead over their nearest contender, the Cincinnati Reds, to 3 games. And of course, we knew the Padres, if they could take care of business against the Mets, as they've done the first 2 days, they had to gain ground on someone, and it turns out it's the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, one of those cases where you stay, right where you were in the division, but Dodgers helping us out a little bit, taking the Reds a little bit more out of it. So I guess I'll take it as much as I don't enjoy it.
The St. Louis Cardinals dropped a game yesterday. They got shut out for 5 innings by Sandy Alcantara, maybe his final start as a Miami Marlin, as the Marlins won that one 5-0. So the Cardinals now 4.5 games behind the Padres in the wild card race. And the Pittsburgh Pirates scored twice in the 8th inning to break a 1-all tie and hand the Giants their 5th straight loss, 3-1 the final. The Giants have dropped all the way to 500. And here's a stunning stat for you. Since acquiring Rafael Devers, now, how much has he helped them? I don't know, but they have the worst record in baseball since that trade.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Remember how everyone thought what a brilliant move by Buster Posey. This is exactly what the Giants need. They have the worst record in baseball since acquiring Rafael Devers.
And again, that's one of those deals that's going to take many, many years. He's a great hitter. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't correlate, Benny, in my mind a lot of times, but just goes to show you how freaking volatile the sport can be. You add a guy like that to that lineup, they should be better with their pitching, and they've been the worst.
Elsewhere in baseball, the series to decide the NL Central leader continues with the Brewers beating the Cubs again 9-3 to take a 2-game lead. It is the 11th straight time Milwaukee has won with Quinn Priester on the mound, a guy that they basically grabbed for nothing from the Red Sox earlier in the season, and he has been a key member of the rotation. And the guy they grabbed for nothing from the White Sox, Andrew Vaughn, hit his 10th home run and it was a grand slam, and he has been an absolute force for them since moving over to Milwaukee.
Incredible. The change of scenery guy. And I know, Luis Robert Jr., Lou Bob is being looked at by a lot of teams, including the Padres and the Dodgers, thinking that, with that raw talent, that ability, change of scenery out of Chicago would do him very good. Listen, depending on the price, Benny, I think he's a really, really interesting guy. So, hopefully he doesn't go there. And if somebody gets him, hopefully it's us.
The Phillies beat the White Sox 6-3. Kyle Schwarber hit his 37th home run of the season. He continues to do it in a contract drive season in Philadelphia. The Yankees got a 3-run homer from Cody Bellinger in a 7-5 win over the Rays. And all of a sudden, the Yankees have picked up a few games on the Toronto Blue Jays, who got swept in a doubleheader by the Baltimore Orioles, 16-4 and 3-2. We mentioned earlier they actually traded Sir Anthony Dominguez in the middle of the game, who went from the Orioles bullpen to the Blue Jays bullpen in the second game and then pitched against his old team. 4th straight loss for Toronto. And this is the theme, Woods, this year. Every team has gone through these lulls at some point in the season. We saw the Padres kind of went through their lull, through June, essentially, was one of their toughest months, but the Yankees have gone through the lull. The Tigers are hoping that they got out of it. They beat the Diamondbacks again 12-2, but they went through a huge stretch coming out of the All-Star break where they struggled. Every single team, the Dodgers went through their stretch where they've struggled. Really, no one has been immune this year to big periods where they just don't look like they're that good. And the only team that really looks consistently good right now is the Milwaukee Brewers, who have the best record in baseball. Does anyone really think that they're the World Series favorites? Because usually at this point in the season, you'd say the team with the best record after over 100 games is probably the best team. But I think a lot of people are having trouble convincing themselves that a Milwaukee Brewers team that looked like we're probably going to be also Rans in a weak division could possibly be the best team in baseball at this point in 2025.
It makes no sense. And we forget this every year, don't we? I mean, every year we act so surprised that these really, really good teams, that they're like, wow, what happened to them? It's just, it's the nature of this game that we love so much. And the Padres lulls, they actually have not been as bad as some of the, quote unquote best teams in baseball, some of the lulls that they've had. So yeah, it is. It's certainly interesting. And who's going to get hot at the exact right time? Certainly, this is a good time for the Padres to get hot, get a little separation in the wild card, and see what happens. But it is. We forget, don't we? Every single year, we get so surprised that teams go through ups and downs in 162.
Meanwhile, some injury news from yesterday. A couple of notes, including Ronald Acuna Jr., who is headed to the IL with an Achilles injury. And I don't know if they've released the severity, but he definitely was worried about it, that this could be another fairly severe injury for a guy who has now dealt with two of them, and this could be number 3 for Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, one of the best players, obviously, in baseball, one of the most talented guys. And, I mean, just must be terrible to be a Braves fan knowing you might be staring at another extended period without him. I mean, they're out of it, I guess, this year, so it doesn't matter as much. Still, tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, extremely. And, I saw a lot of Braves fans last night getting up in arms, and, he wanted to be back. He plays a certain way. I don't know that you can, complain about the Braves organization, putting him out there on the field. And it's just a bummer. You hate to see the best players in the game go down like that. It's such a drag. He was crying in his post game. It's hard to watch, man. That dude, love him, hate him, whatever you feel about him. That guy genuinely loves playing the game of baseball so much, and baseball is infinitely better with him in it. So huge bummer for those guys.
Speaking of really good players who are often on the injured list, Byron Buxton headed back to his second home on the injured list again. Another stint on the 10-day IL. I mean, the guy's always hurt. I know what to say. He's a phenomenal player. The guy is always hurt for the Minnesota Twins, which is unfortunate because he would be a perennial MVP type player if he could stay on the field, and he just hasn't been. The Twins, deal with a bunch of injuries. Royce Lewis is kind of the same way as well. The good news for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Eugenio Suarez is back in their lineup today. It's their last game before the trade deadline. Got hit by that pitch. What was it, in the hand? Earlier this week. X-rays, though, were negative, and the further imaging was negative. He's doing well enough that they can showcase him for one last day, likely his last day in an Arizona Diamondbacks uniform, as he remains kind of the most coveted offensive prize at the trade deadline with a number of suitors. The Mariners are reportedly still interested. The Yankees are interested in Eugenio Suarez. I imagine any team that really wants a bat is interested, but they all kind of also want to see, you're okay, though, right? We don't want to trade for damaged goods, broken merchandise here at the deadline, considering it's going to be a pricey acquisition even for a rental.
I mean, it's crazy, right? You're putting him out. Like, he has such massive numbers this season. And, they're like, hey, we really need you in there, buddy. We got to have you in there because we have to move you. And, again, I think if you're the Reds, the Mariners, the Yankees, all those teams you mentioned, it would scare me if he went to the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like, he is such a force offensively, but really going to run that guy out there for one day today, just so everybody can see that, no, he can swing. He can swing. Go ahead and pull the trigger on those trades that you drew up. It's crazy business.
Pretty good day yesterday for Sandy Alcantara, too, probably making his last start.
That's the last one.
And
gotta be.
Just quickly, some details on that Austin Slater trade we talked about from the White Sox. Looks like Yankees just someone to fill in for Aaron Judge while he's on the injured list. Slater batting .236 with just 5 homers and a .721 OPS in 51 games. So a small move this morning. We'll keep our eyes out on any other moves. We got an hour to go still. Got a Reindl Report, and we're going to pay off the Incorporator from Jesse Agler. All coming up next with Ben and Woods. Don't go away. Going until 10 o'clock here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's here on a Wednesday. I was listening to a video from JP Morosi during the break about Padres rumors and buying versus selling, and nothing new really there. He mentioned Stephen Kwan's name, mentioned Luis Roberts' name, said Robert Suarez and Dylan Cease. Certainly they're listening on it, and mentioned the old, Padres trying to not add payroll, dealing with some financial, lack of flexibility perhaps at the trade deadline. And that seems like it's been a big talking point for fans. Is AJ Preller dealing with financial restraints from ownership? And I can tell you 100%, Woods, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Because every general manager has some sort of financial constraints on them. Now, what are those constraints? I have no idea. Can he add a little bit of money? Can he add no money? Can he, if the right deal comes around, could he add $10 million? I don't know. The answer is a maybe to all of those things. But even Andrew Friedman, it's at some point the Dodgers ownership will say, yes, we have all the money in the world, but you can't spend that. I mean, every GM has to go to their owner and ask and say, hey, what am I dealing with here? What can I do? What can't I do? So it's not really a story that the Padres have a budget and they're trying to stick to it, but can also be a little bit flexible, as we've seen in the past. Like many times we've seen the Padres say, yeah, we're going to try to stick to here, but then, they're playing well and they decide, well, you know what, let's go for it now and we'll figure it out later. So I would imagine, just like other trade deadlines and other off seasons, they have a plan, but they're also willing to adjust that plan as necessary, depending on, who's available and what the situation calls for. But yes, AJ has some financial considerations here heading into the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's the nature of the beast here, Benny. It's hard for me to wrap my head around Andrew Friedman getting turned down by Guggenheim to go out and add whatever they wanted to. But you're probably right, and I don't know why they would have that. They have more money than they know what to do with at this point, and everyone wants to feel like they're the smartest. They got the best deal. They didn't have to give up the best prospects. They didn't have to eat salary or pay a lot of salary. So I think it's an ego thing too. But yeah, I see them being pretty active. They have some needs as well, and that's the one that kind of scares me.
I promise you that the Dodgers do have to think about it. They're so far over the luxury tax that even if they wanted to add a mediocre player who's only going to cost like $2 million, the penalties alone, like, do we really want to pay $50 million for a guy who's worth about $1 million because we're paying so much in luxury tax penalties? I promise you they think about it. Maybe ultimately they can say yes easier than other teams can because they have such insane revenues, but there is no general manager that absolutely has just unfettered money to do whatever they want whenever they want it, and there's no accountability whatsoever. So yes, AJ Preller is operating with some financial constraints. Big headline right there, because every GM is.
KG just said, well, Ben, they just bought the Lakers. Yeah, that's true. They did buy the Lakers. Maybe that puts a little bit more of a dent financially in what the Dodgers can do, but I expect them to be very, very, very busy, my friend.
The Dodgers?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, they certainly are going to do some stuff, but they also have a really crowded roster. I mean, with already tons of players that they're just paying. Are they just going to release some guys that they signed to long-term contracts? I mean, at some point you run out of 40-man and 26-man roster spaces as well. That's the other constraint that every team has to deal with, that you can't just sign 70 players and put them all on your team. You only have certain number of spots for players that you can keep.
But they're very adept at putting guys on the IL.
Yeah, but you can't. So you can put them on the 60-day IL, which would put them off the 40-man roster temporarily, but then you wouldn't be able to use them the rest of the season.
Right.
And I imagine a lot of those guys they want coming back, like Blake Trinan and Brusdar Graterol. You're going to have to realize that you need some of those guys back. So you can't just add an unlimited amount of players, even if you had unlimited money. That's what those rules are in place for.
I think you're trying to speak this into existence, and maybe that's the case. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Padres are concerned, who knows? who knows? They've surprised us so many times over the years with what they've added and what they haven't added, what they've been able to pull off. You get the sense that it's a frenzy going on right now with AJ Preller, knowing that there are so many, well, not so many, but there are some pretty glaring needs. And, I think today is a big day. You're right. Yu Darvish is starting against the Mets. I think that's a big day. I think that's very telling. There's so much kind of hanging in the balance with what the Padres are doing and what they can do and what they will do, kind of depending on things like what happens today with Yu Darvish. I mean, if he goes out and throws up another clunker, what do you do if you're AJ Preller? You have to go to management and say, look, we got to get somebody. We need somebody in there in the starting rotation. They need bullpen help, I'm sure. They want a left fielder. They need a bench piece. It's the writing's on the wall here. They got to get some stuff done.
I do believe, though, that the Padres and AJ Preller's first consideration is always, what are the moves that are going to help us win the most? And then after they identify them, then they go on to, okay, how can we make this work financially? And usually they find a way to make it work. At least in recent years, they've found a way to make those moves work. But the first thing they're looking at is who's the best possible player that we can get that would fit, that we could trade for, whatever. And then they look, okay, now can we make it work, in our financial framework? But they're not just going, no, well, let's not even look at that guy. Let's not look at that guy. He's going to be too expensive. They look at everybody and try to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that as well. I do. I like to think that is totally the case. But this is new ownership. Let's be honest. This is a new ownership group. This is their first go at the trade deadline with AJ Preller, and I'm sure he's in there stomping his feet and beating on the desk that he needs this guy and that, and this amount of money and to make it work. And look, the onus is really on ownership right now to see what. We'll see. We'll see how they do. It's not only a big trade deadline for AJ Preller, it's a big trade deadline for the new ownership.
I mean, if a team that's been knocking on the door now for 5 years and they've got this amount of stars on the roster, you're 10 games above 500. We'll see what they are after today heading into the deadline. But that screams buy. Like any team in that situation, whatever you got to do to address your weaknesses and make your team stronger, this is the recipe. This isn't a team that's they're 6 games out, but they got some winnable ball games. They could go on a run and find themselves in wild card contention. No, the Padres are firmly in contention, and quite frankly, I'll be pretty disappointed tomorrow afternoon if they don't do anything or add very much on the margins.
No I mean, which teams in the National League are going to be left? I mean, the Padres are the 3rd wild card team. I can't imagine any team above them is not, they're all going for it. I mean, the Brewers, they always have financial constraints, by the way, but, they've got the best record. The Cubs are kind of in go-for-it mode. The Dodgers are obviously in full go-for-it mode. And the Phillies and Mets are both way over the luxury tax, and they're in go-for-it mode. But these other teams, I saw in the chat, JP Morosi saying the Giants are starting to listen on their relievers. Are the Giants getting a little cold feet now and are backing out of it? Are the Cardinals going to back out of it? The Cincinnati Reds are the one team I'm watching. If they don't make any significant moves, if they don't go for it, you've thinned the field perhaps in the next couple of days, and the Padres could have a much clearer path to the postseason than we thought they did a week or two ago when we thought, they might be battling with 6 teams for one spot. Now they might just be kind of, conceded. I guess the Padres are going to be one of these playoff teams because no one else really wanted to make any moves to try to challenge them over the final couple of months. It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it is. And, it's also important, though, to not get caught up. And I saw some people voicing concern about it last night of hey, just because this offense is finally maybe scoring more runs than we're accustomed to, please, AJ Preller, and I'm begging you as Stephen Woods, the fan of the Padres, don't look at that and say, well, we've got that part figured out, and let's just go get one guy in the bullpen and we'll call it a trade deadline. No. You need help. You need help. And don't let that recency bias infect you, AJ Preller. But again,
I mean, think about Xander Bogaerts, dude. Xander Bogaerts needed to be basically one of the hottest hitters on the planet for, a 6-week stretch for us to finally at least mute the conversation of this is a washed year, another lost year of Xander Bogaerts' contract. I mean, it takes a lot. Like, I don't even know that Elias Diaz or Martin Maldonado like can climb out of that hole of being such a glaring weakness on this roster.
Well, let's say you pulled off the trigger on a trade today and you added an outfielder. Let's say you add Luis Robert Jr. just because that's the name that's been talked about the most for the last couple of months. All right, so what do you do? Do you just plug him in every day for left field, and you move Gavin Sheets, who's been struggling, to DH right now? Do you take Bryce Johnson, who's been helping you out of the lineup? I mean, what's the move? You know, the Padres are hitting well. Do you want to mess with it right now because things are going well at the moment?
I'm not falling into the trap of a week of good hitting or 4 days of good hitting after 4 months of like bottom 5 hitting.
I get that, but you do have to also be careful with how you add new players and, you know, make sure it works for the kind of team that you are at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that chance. I'll take that risk, you know, every day of the week. Improve, you know, and listen, don't let the Giants be a cautionary tale either, adding Rafael Devers and then having the worst record in baseball. You know, every team is different. But yeah, I think some pitching help is definitely needed, and I think a bat as well. I think if you add a bat, it makes a Bryce Johnson even, you know, more valuable, Ben, coming off the bench.
I think they finally found what they wanted to find from Jose Iglesias, though.
Yes.
And Mike Schilt talked about it. Jose Iglesias is the guy that gets Manny and Xander and now Jake and Luis off their feet and DHing for a day. So I want to see that going forward, especially when a left-hander's on the mound. Put Jose Iglesias out in the field somewhere, get one of those guys a day at DH, make things a little bit easier. But when you do that, well, then you're knocking. If you add someone, then you're knocking. Right now, it's not a problem. You can put him in any day you want. But when you add, you know, to the outfield, then you can't really do that anymore without knocking someone out of the lineup. So you are messing with what is right now a good thing. I'm not saying you don't make a move. I'm just saying you have to keep that in consideration depending on who and where you add them to your lineup going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I trust Mike Schilt to figure out the best spots to use those guys. And Jose Iglesias really, especially with the glove, I mean, you miss nothing. I mean, if he's in there really for anybody, like, you miss nothing defensively. He's been outstanding. So, yeah, but again, I'll take my chances, you know, with the improvement of the roster. And, you know, gives a little lift to the team, and we're going for it, and let's pull together and all that mess that we like to spit, you know, in sports radio, and we'll see what happens. And, you know, I like to go down swinging, Benny. I do. I don't like to stand pat. You know, I don't. I like to go down swinging, and if we go down, fine. We gave it our best effort.
All right. We still need to pay off the incorporator. When we come back, how did Jesse work the Hawaiian slang term howley into last night's Padres-Mets broadcast? We'll get to that, and you got a Reindl Report on the way as well. Don't go anywhere. Ben and Woods continuing here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel.
I bet, as nice as it was for the Padres to return home from that hot, sticky 10-game road trip and be back in the beautiful weather of San Diego, having tomorrow off, tonight and tomorrow off, at home with no travel, and another home game on Friday night. So essentially, they're going to have 48 hours between the end of today's game and, close to when they have to show up for Friday's game. And my guess is Mike Schultz is going to tell them, go. Spend some time with your families, relax, get away from the ballpark, get away from baseball for a couple of days, treat this as almost like a total weekend off, and then maybe not even do batting practice on Friday. Like, get there late on Friday and then come back ready to go for the final 2 months of the season. Come meet your new teammates, post trade deadline on Friday, and we will lock in for the rest of the rest of the summer. But this is a nice little 48-hour respite coming up for your San Diego Padres.
Half the team is locked up to a long-term deal, and they're probably pretty comfortable. But I got to think there's a handful of guys on the roster that are like, oh, yeah, I'll just enjoy myself until Thursday afternoon and have no idea where if I'm going anywhere, where am I going? Like, where do I have to move? It would not be a very relaxing time if you're guys like, Dylan Cease, for example.
Oh, my God, yeah. You think he's just chilling and relaxing the next couple days?
Is there anyone, let me ask you guys, because we know the names that have been brought up. Dylan Cease, Robert Suarez, Jake Cronenworth's name has been brought up in a couple of rumors. Is there anyone else currently on the 26-man roster that you think has a chance, at least, of being gone by tomorrow?
There's a ton of guys, I think.
There's a ton of guys.
Your whole outfield, besides Merrill and Tatis and I guess Sheets, I think Trenton Brooks could be gone. I think Bryce Johnson could be on the move.
They could both be sent down to AAA. I don't think anyone's trying to
acquire a position.
Yeah, I don't think anyone. I mean, like traded. Actually would be traded. To another team.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing though. If they're not on this team on Friday afternoon.
Okay, here's why I bring it up. You're looking for financial flexibility. Could Wandy Peralta be traded? He's pitching really well right now.
He is pitching lights out for the last month, lights out.
You could save a little money right there. Try to sell high on Wandy Peralta, or do you feel like we need Wandy Peralta and his ability to get a left-handed out, a ground ball, a double play here or there, and you don't want to trade that guy. Remember, he's got options the next 2 more years to come back and back again. If someone was interested and go, and we need a Wandy Peralta in our bullpen, could he be traded right now? Yuki Matsui, I thought was I'm sure the Padres would be interested. I saw I think it was Tommy tweeted, he has a no trade contract clause in his contract. They can't even trade Yuki Matsui, which I didn't realize that. Yeah,
just crazy.
So I guess he's not going anywhere. They can't even send him down to the minors apparently. So he's probably sticking around.
In history.
I would imagine there's a couple of other bullpen guys that can't be 100% safe. Young guys, controllable. David Morgan, I don't think they're going to trade him. He's probably in their future plans. But if another team goes, hey, you want this guy badly enough, you've got to throw in David Morgan. Who was it that got traded? It was in the Cease trade. What reliever? Remember at spring training?
Thorpe?
No.
It was Steven Wilson.
Steven Wilson. Yeah. We all like Steven.
Blew me away.
Sorry, but I don't think anyone wanted to trade you, but
baseball purgatory.
They needed someone, so AJ probably reluctantly threw in Steven Wilson in that deal to the White Sox, and it was bye, Steven. I know you thought you were about to start the season with the Padres. Enjoy Chicago. So there are possibilities that other guys could be not on the roster as of Friday.
Think about Luke Voigt a couple of years ago. He didn't think he was getting moved at all.
True.
And then hey, you're gone. You're the throw-in now. You never know. But if there's a good amount of roster shakeup, both catchers, whether they get traded or DFA'd, I don't know. Like I said, most of the outfield, if they acquire a fielder and add some bats, all of a sudden we don't have room for
one thing. But I mean, actually desired, coveted, traded to another organization beyond the guys who have been rumored. I mean, certainly would be teams that would take Fernando Tatis Jr. Padres aren't trading him. They're not trading Manny. They're not trading key guys like Jackson Merrill. So there's certain names will be here on Friday, but there's probably a few more that you're not thinking about that at least could possibly be included in a deal to make whatever work that AJ's trying to pull off here.
I look forward to seeing how it all materializes, and I don't know why, but the last maybe 12, 15 hours have been thinking about what is our reaction, guys, if they just do we just pick up the Bender kid from Miami, right? And we're like, we bolstered the bullpen. And it's just am I going to be mad, sad, disappointed, furious? I just don't know until I see it come out. And, it's Leo's out there, Ethan Salas is out there, and you're like, if we hang on to those guys, the part of the future, am I really going to be that upset if I move them for whoever, right? Robert Jr., Lou Bob or Marcelo Zune or something. What's the reaction going to be? So going to be pretty fascinating.
The Vapors. How about Gavin Sheets? He's got controllable years. Could be interesting for another team that would want to acquire. If the Padres are acquiring like an outfielder and another bat and have 2 spots, Gavin Sheets could be expendable and could be desirable to another team with power potential, left-handed bat who's had a resurgent year. Yeah, he's struggling right now, but cheap and controllable. He's an asset. Yeah. I mean, it's not 100% that Gavin Sheets even makes it through this trade deadline. I'm just trying to think a little outside the box here, like an AJ Preller tends to think. So
every move that's made is going to have quite a ripple effect throughout the organization, I think.
No,
can't wait to see it. Yeah.
All right, let's pay out for Incorporator. Oh, we had Jesse on yesterday, as always on Tuesday, and Paul, you got the setup for us. All right, let's get to the Incorporator. Of course, Woods is in Hawaii, so we like to do themes if we can.
Haole.
Yeah,
Haole. It's the Hawaiian word for a non-Hawaiian person who comes to the islands, kind of an interloper, a haole.
All right. So yesterday, this was in I want to say it was the 6th inning, but I got the text from Jesse Agler, and he nailed it like he always does.
Padres began something of a trend. What was it? 2021 with the swag chain, and the home run props have become a really big thing in baseball the last 4 years. Ironically, the Padres one of the few teams that don't have one. 1-0 pitch is low, 2 balls and no strikes. And the Mets currently have a home run flip-flop. It's a giant one. Very Howley behavior, but it's a big, giant, colorful flip-flop that they break out after their home runs.
It's like he knew.
Incredible.
So they do have the giant flip-flop, though? Do they wear it? Where do they put it?
I didn't know
I haven't seen that. Maybe he made it up. I don't know.
If he does, he's known to make things up completely, but...
I feel like we would have saw that.
I feel like I would have too. A giant flip flop. It doesn't make any sense being in New York or something. I thought it would be like, what's New York famous for? Here's our giant
home run, a chancla, a home run flip flop. They absolutely do. I don't know how they implement it when someone hits a home run, because you're not going to take off your cleats or everything and then put on a flip-flop and shuffle around the dugout for 5 seconds and then put your cleats back on.
Just one, by the way. Just one.
Oh no, it's big. They hold it and pose with it. It's like, I don't know, it's like from my neck down to my knees. It's like a big giant blue
they hit each other with it. That's
palm
genius.
Tree themed flip-flop.
That's fantastic. I mean, New York famous for its pizza. Right, famous for its bagels. You could do the home run bagel, and you just wear it around the big, oversized bagel. Put it around your neck. It is odd that the Padres don't really have. They still do the Polaroids and stuff, but that's really it. I mean, there's no crown or trident or it's big surfboard that they lug around. There's no bit this year. Maybe that's what we're missing.
Yeah, the Padres minor league, the San Antonio Missions, their alternate was the chanclas. They already had the flip-flops as kind of part of their identity as well. So Mets aren't even totally original with that. Well, let's hope we don't see it.
Yeah, right.
Again, that would be nice if they can avoid.
Oh, look at that. There it is.
There's a picture of the in our YouTube chat of the flip-flop. So are you wearing flip-flops on your trip in Hawaii? You never wear them. I wear them a lot.
You know what, man?
Did you bring them?
I am.
I
brought them. And I wore them down to the beach yesterday. You know what I realized though? I have an incredible case of chafe right now. My inner thighs,
seawater, sand, all the things, the sun,
the bathing suit.
Yeah,
that my inner thighs are raw. And I mean, I had to Gold Bond up this morning. Oh, the chafe! I don't know what to do. I need to bring cream with me down to the beach. I am in the torture chamber. I had to walk all the way down to the pier. It's like 600 yards. And then the walk back, by the end, my legs were on fire. And then the tsunami warning hit. So it was really a fun series of events. But I am in the chamber with this. I don't have any shorts. All I have are bathing suits. So I'm dying right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the material of the swimsuit, if it's the seawater, if it's just the sweating and getting dry and wet over and over again, and what causes that.
Of all of the above.
But yeah, just when you're at the beach for a few days and you start really getting the bad chafe is a real thing.
I wish I could. I may take pictures of my chafe and send it to you guys later if you want to see it.
I'll show you. I believe you.
I'll show you. You'll like it.
I'm good.
Taste my creation, Paulie.
We'll just skip over the chafe right to the Reindl Report, which is coming up next. Paulie, what can you tease for us?
Oh, what to tease here. We got an update from a Don't Do This story from not too long ago. And the South and football, it just never ceases to amaze me.
That is all
incredible.
Coming up.
Incredible story.
Final segment of Ben and Woods on a Wednesday next year on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
MLB Network released a list of Jake Peavy's top 5 World Series contenders this morning. Would you like me to run through the list for you quickly here, Woods?
Surely.
All right. Number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
Number 2,
Chalk.
the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 3, the New York Mets. Number 4, the San Diego Padres.
Oh, I like that.
And number 5, the Milwaukee Brewers. What do all those teams have in common?
They're all in the NL.
They're all in the National League. Every single one of his top World Series contenders is a National League team. He doesn't consider, I guess, any of the American League to be in the top 5 of his World Series contenders. Now, does he throw the Padres in there because he's, a Padres employee? Or is he legitimately think that the Padres are a top 4 World Series contender? I think Jake's a fairly straight shooter when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
And I think the argument can be made that, based on what we've seen the last, couple of weeks, that the Padres are a legitimate World Series contender. Not because they're the greatest thing, that we've ever seen, but I'm also comparing them to the other teams, like the Mets, who are just ahead of them, and they just beat the last 2 days, including handily yesterday. The Phillies, who they split 6 games with, they just played recently. The Brewers, who they took 2 of 3 from when they played them in Milwaukee a month or 2 ago. The only team on that list that they've really struggled with is the Dodgers, who they went 2-5 against. And, ultimately we'll see what happens when they meet in the playoffs, but those games were all close. They were all competitive, other than the ones that the Dodgers, gave up on. And we'll see if they get the chance to meet again. But I think you can make the argument that, Padres are definitely a legitimate World Series contender at this point.
I mean, it's crazy to think, 4 games behind them right now. We play them, next week? Is that right? August?
Week and a half.
August,
2 weeks.
A week and a half, yeah. So, hold serve, my friends. Hold serve and see what happens. And those series could be massive. I'm ready. My body is ready. My mind is not ready, but my body is ready.
All right, we'll check traffic when we come back. Paulie will get us some headlines, stuff we missed. The Reindl Report to wrap things up here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Vicki Pepper.
Got some backup in North County due to some construction. The 52 East down a lane at Genesee. Due to guardrail repair, you're going to be moving at about 10 miles an hour from Regents Road. I'm Vicki Pepper with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday, gentlemen.
It's been a long week already, Paul.
It really has. It really has. But hey, we move on. We're gonna get started. I have the tease for you. It never ceases to amaze me, and yet I'm still anytime I see these stories of high school football in the South, it's something. I didn't grow up anywhere around there. Never really been anywhere in those parts of the country, and so I can't even wrap my head around it. I mean, high school football for my high school, it was so it was the exact opposite of anything you see in the movies or on television. It was not cool to play football. We sucked. Just never got that part of the high school experience. And so when I saw that this isn't even in Texas, which is kind of where my mind naturally will go when you think high school football, but really the whole South has it on lockdown. We're going to Buford High School in Georgia. It's just outside of Atlanta. And details have come out for their new football stadium for the high school. Cost them $62 million to build.
God.
It's got 10,000 seats in it. It's got, where did it go? 15 luxury boxes.
Luxury boxes?
Yes, for a high school. Yes, wow. Luxury suites, a 3,500 square foot video scoreboard, and a 2-story field house / locker room for them. It looks unbelievable. It's got to be, I would say it's better than most colleges because there's a lot of these like smaller schools out there, like D2, D3. Obviously, like the Power 5 schools, they've got really nice locker rooms and facilities as well. But like, I don't know. I'd put that up against even like Snapdragon Stadium. I mean, it looks unbelievable.
No,
it's not as big, but
it's incredible. Here's the question, though. Is it something you should really be proud of? That football is that important that you'd sink that much money into a high school stadium? Because honestly, it's probably a sign that our priorities have gone so far out of whack that you would spend that much money on what is still, it's just high school football. You know, I know it's important. It's really important in Texas, but it's not like they're not going to play if they don't have a $68 million, $2 million stadium, whatever it is. I mean, they're going to play. Football was important at Torrey Pines High School. We had a fine stadium, but it wasn't ridiculous. I mean, had John Lynch playing for our team when I was there and future NFL Hall of Famer, but it was just a normal, concrete, benches on the sides and a little press box at the top and a scoreboard with just the lights that would come up and say 14-0 and nothing, no video or anything like that. And again, it was a different era. It was 30 plus years ago, but I don't know that that's a good thing and something you should really be all that proud of, that you're spending that much on a high school stadium.
Yeah, but how fired up are you if you're the starting quarterback for the Buford?
What is it?
Buford Bears or whatever they are. Yeah, you're pretty elated.
That's not where Adam went to high school, is it? I don't think so.
No, he said he had a buddy that went to Buford. Garish is a word that was just thrown in the chat, and I love that word. It's way underutilized. Garish. It's a garish stadium. It's a garish display of excess, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I know it's just television. One of my favorite shows was Friday Night Lights, and I remember like one of the plot lines was the boosters give you $100 million or whatever for these renovations, and the principal's like, that could pay for some teachers and some school supplies, and they're like, well, we want football, like we want the big screen. And so like if that's where the money is being spent, like if that's why people are giving the money, you kind of have to do it. But I agree, like $60 million, you're like, man, in this time where like teachers have to go buy their own school supplies, it's kind of gross actually that we have this
pretty gnarly
15 suites at a high school football stadium though. It's just insane.
Jordan says my uncle's nickname is Buford.
Buford.
Does he play the banjo, Jordan?
Garish. He's very garish. That's insane. That's an insane number.
Crazy. All right, we'll move on. I got an update. I know we talked about this during Don't Do This not too long ago, and we have an update. You guys remember the story of Caitlin Clark had the stalker? It was a guy from Texas who like sent her over like 800 messages, and he wasn't getting a response. Every time she blocked him, he got a new number or a new account and was like threatening her and making like sexually explicit comments. He even got in his car and drove from Texas up to Indiana to watch her play a game. And I believe he was like caught outside of the stadium. They said, there is no chance you're coming into this game, dude. Well, he has been sentenced now, and he got 2.5 years in prison this week. That verdict came down, and I'll be honest,
not long enough.
I don't think it's long enough.
No,
now, he didn't actually, I mean, he did do something. He threatened her. He was harassing and stalking her. I guess you could say he didn't like physically assault her or anything like that. And I'm sure that's probably what his defense was. But like the fact that we saw like the lengths that he would go to stalk this woman. Like, I don't know that 2.5 years is enough for this guy. Like, we don't want you got that type of person out running the streets.
We just did the story of the serial butt sniffer.
We did
in the LA area, and he's been a butt sniffer for a while and has been arrested for butt sniffing, on more than one occasion.
You have to say it. How many times do you have to say it?
When you are, you have to throw the book at butt sniffers the first time, I think, because then it discourages other butt sniffers from sniffing butt. And I think, these stalking cases are so weird. People are so creepy. Put these guys under the jail, especially the butt sniffers.
It's like, what's that saying that Ben always said? Sniff my butt once, shame on you.
Sniff it twice, shame on me.
That's the saying at all. And I'm pretty sure I've never said it, but fine.
God.
All right. Well, speaking of prison, I saw this story too this week. Oh my God. Do you guys see, this was probably in the last month or two, there was a prison in New Orleans that had like 10 inmates escape. And it was like a scene out of Shawshank. They moved the toilet like off the wall in one of the cells and off to the side and were able to get through the wall and escape. Well, that prison is back in the news because they mistakenly released the wrong inmate last week.
So they mistakenly released the wrong inmate.
They are calling it a clerical error.
Okay, I can totally understand if you're the inmate who is mistakenly released. You're not saying anything, like,
right?
But
you're not saying
if you're the guy who's supposed to be released, aren't you screaming? Hey, I'm the one who's supposed to be going, not this guy.
The guards are like, yeah, we hear that all the time, buddy.
We've heard that song and dance before, buddy. Sure you are. Sure you're getting out. Sure you're getting out today, pal. Right on. Keep dreaming.
So, I mean, this is insane. So this guy, Khalil Bryan, he's 30 years old. He was being held on a warrant for aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic abuse, child endangerment, and home invasion, has a criminal history, and now he has been released accidentally. And they're saying it was because another inmate who was scheduled for release had a very similar name. And they're saying it's a serious error. We take full responsibility. We have launched an investigation into this. But I'm reading here from CBS, like nothing in this story says anything about what happens to the guy who was mistakenly released. I'm like, do they have to go find him and be like, hey, buddy, actually, you're not actually released? Or is it like, no, you signed my release. I'm a free man until I screw up again. Like, I have no idea, but it says nothing about like, yeah, we're in the process of, booking him again and bringing him back to this prison.
Getting out on a technicality.
Yeah, it's a technicality. And yes, we did mistakenly release Hen Biggins. Ben Higgins was the one that was supposed to be out, but Hen has been released. It's such a, clerical errors happen all the time. They happen all the time, and mistakes and technicalities and things like that. This is, I would say, a big one. This is a big one. You may want to have a couple of different, levels of, let's make sure, let's double check, let's triple check, let's just make sure that we have this right, especially that. I mean, aggravated assault, et cetera, et cetera. Now the guy's on the street going, good luck,
No, you were supposed to release Charles Hanson from prison.
Right, yeah. It makes no sense. But so now they got to go get this guy, and he's going to pitch a fit, I'm sure. And does he have a case at this point?
I know. Okay, side take, and I know this is wholly inconceivable, inappropriate, but if you can escape from prison, I sort of feel like, all right, well, you got out. It's their job to keep you in. If you get out, you're out, and you shouldn't have to go back. If you can then live the straight and narrow life after you leave prison and not be arrested again, that they shouldn't be allowed to go find you. You got out.
It's not
their job to keep you in.
It's not a game show. You know what I mean?
Reality TV.
I would watch that show, Escape from Prison reality show. Like they have to find a way to get out of their reality show somehow.
And if you do, it's your path to freedom. I don't have the stomach to try to escape. It's like, you're going to get caught for the most part, 99% of the time, I would imagine. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to throw another 10 years on your sentence, buddy. Holy cow. Yeah, that's
Chris says, Ben, big time Andy Dufresne fan. I am a huge Andy Dufresne fan.
As am I. Huge fan of Andy Dufresne. And, Red. I know he committed murder, but I think he turned his life around after 50 years inside of Shawshank.
Then how come you're not letting the butt sniffer turn his life around? If he potentially rehabilitates himself, you want to put him under the jail. Maybe he wants to be better in his life.
Give him 50 years, and then we'll talk about the rehab on his image. I just heard for the first time today, it's 9:52. I just had one tiny little glitch in the tie line over here, and I wondered if it came through on the air. And I'm sitting here wondering, I'm exhausted, 2 hours of sleep, very stressful, kind of traumatic day yesterday. This is the first broadcast we've ever done remotely where it didn't drop off. The one day I wanted it to drop off, it did not drop. I was praying that this tie line would shut down. And I'm sorry, fellas, I don't know what happened.
It's been flawless. Couldn't hear a thing.
It's been absolutely flawless because, of course, it has. But, man, thank you guys for indulging me this morning in what was just one of the craziest days. A day I'm sure my family will look back on many years down the road and laugh. It is a little eerie still being here right now because you just never know. We still have, I think we have like 9 days left here, so hopefully nowhere to go but up on this vacation.
Well, get some rest because tomorrow's show could end up being a pretty big one. It is trade deadline morning. We will definitely be monitoring all the social media channels for any breaking news. Of course, anything could happen today as well, so keep it tuned here for Braden and then the Padres game and then the post-game show with Ello and Scraby if anything happens today. But tomorrow's the day you really circle on the calendar, and we will start early to see what trades are going down in the Padres and the rest of Major League Baseball. Woods, thank you for making it through a tsunami just to be here with all the Tier 1s this morning.
I love you guys. I love the Tier 1s. I love the power of local radio.
And it's not even 7 a.m. where you are. Have a great rest of your day. For Stephen Woods, for Paulie Reindl, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, San Diego, from San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.